Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, we don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, we don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the Two Dum Yinzers, guys. This is episode 891. Glad to be back today. It's Friday. It's Friday. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Heading into the divisional playoff round here in the NFL this weekend, guys. We got a lot of stuff to get into today. The new look Steelers. What direction are we going to go in quite a few areas? Going to get into that today. Going to look at who is coming in for interviews as far as the coaching position for the Steelers this weekend. Also, more invites out for and requests for that position as well. The Steelers sending out interview requests around the league. We'll get into that and so much more today. Maybe talk a little TJ Watt. I think that's warranted, and a few other guys maybe, and see what the future of this team is looking like moving down the pike here, guys. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some big changes, and by big changes, I mean big names. And we'll get into that and so much more, guys. Welcome back. Welcome to the show. This is again 891 of the Two Dum Yinzers, guys. Welcome back this afternoon, this morning, wherever you may be. Glad to see you today, everybody. It's Friday. Yeah. Heading into the weekend. Some news here just around some Pittsburgh sports before we do dive into the Steelers, guys. The Pittsburgh Penguins, they beat the hated rivals Philadelphia last night 6-3. Sidney Crosby continues to just abuse the Philadelphia Flyers. The Penguins win this game 6-3, guys. They'll be back at it tomorrow hosting the Columbus Blue Jackets. Tomorrow that game will be at 7:00. Also in Pittsburgh, a few other things going on here. We do, of course, the NFL draft is just 98 days away. We're on the countdown on that, under 100 days, 98 days till the draft. The Pittsburgh Passion, our ladies right here in Pittsburgh, they do kick off in 99 days. 99 days. So 98 days till the draft, 99 days till the ladies kick off their football season. 24 days till the pitchers and catchers show up in Bradenton, Florida for the start of spring training for the Buccos and for our college team. Pitt, our quarterback, our freshman sensation, is committed to coming back next year. Mason Heinschel will be back. He's locked in Pitt for the upcoming sophomore season of his as Eli Holstein exits the organization. It looks like Heichel's going to be the man, and it looks like if he can continue to do what he does, it's going to be pretty good here for Pitt. So we're excited about that. Heinzel sticking around. He's locked in. Buccos, pitchers, catchers, 24 days. Pittsburgh Passion, 99 days. The NFL Draft, 98 days. Guys, it's on like Donkey Kong right here in Pittsburgh. But you know what? I think everybody's ready to talk about some Steelers. And again, we're going to get into all kind of things today. We got I have a list of coaches that were requested to talk to us. I have coaches that are coming in over the next 2 days. I have, and we're going to talk about a lot of other things too, because this is going to be it's a new beginning. It's a change. And again, if we think that's just going to be the coach, I think we're sadly mistaken, because there are some other players, again, making a lot of money here in Pittsburgh that if that money was spent elsewhere, maybe it could be more productive and helpful for the team. So we're going to get into all that. So much more today. Let me start on the board this morning saying good morning to everybody. Good morning to the Tortilla. He says James Harrison got CTE. My man, Tortilla. Always great seeing the great Tortilla from Sacramento, California. My man, welcome. Glad to have you back today, sir. Miss Pittsburgh from right here in the Berg. She says this. Good afternoon, everyone. Here we go. Happy Friday. That's right. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Glad to see you. Again, we're heading into the divisional round weekend. We're going to get these picks in today. We're going to see who we think is going to win these football games over the weekend. And we're going to take a look at the Monday night national championship between the Indiana Hoosiers and the Miami Hurricanes, guys. So much to get into as this weekend does. It comes at us quick. And we are here on Friday, guys. Again, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. My man, Yinzer Joe says, man, Yinzers, this month has been rough. Let's turn it around. Welcome to the show, Yinzer Joe. Always great having you on a terrible board, my friend. Jamal, my man, great seeing you as well. Gang, always, sir. Glad to see you on this Friday installment of the two Dum Yinzers. Again, screaming into the weekend, heading into divisional weekend. So much to get into today. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's do it. Guys, let's look at the list. Let's look at the list. This is the list of what the requests that the Steelers do have out as we speak. And again, we do have interviews lined up today, tomorrow. Let me get you some names here. Off the top, I'm going to get you the list of the possible coaches around the league that we are looking at the moment here, guys. This is the list of requests sent. This is the request list. Here we go, guys. And again, I'll give you the update on what it's like to, or where it's at as far as their interview process as well. Because again, we do have guys coming in today, tomorrow. Actually, virtually, they're not coming into town, but let me give you the list anyway. Nate Schilhaus, of course, the Rams passing game coordinator. He will be coming in real soon. I'll give you the exacts here in just a second after I get this list out. Chris Shula, he is also a person that was been requested to be interviewed by the Steelers. He, of course, is the defensive coordinator for the Rams. Brian Flores, we all know Brian from Minnesota. We have a request out to have an interview for him. Anthony Weaver, the defensive coordinator for Miami, a request out to interview Mr. Weaver. Jesse Mintner, the Chargers defensive coordinator. One thing that I'm noticing here, all these people on this list are all defensive people. It's kind of interesting. Again, you know, what direction the league is going, what direction a lot of the more successful teams are going. Everybody on this list is so far has been a defensive mind. That Jesse Mintner, of course, from the Chargers, the defensive coordinator. Ejiro Evero from the Carolina Panthers, the defensive coordinator. We have a request out for him as well. And also Jeff Haffey from the Green Bay Packers, their defensive coordinator as well. Every person on that list. But the most recent one, guys, we did request a Clint Kubiak interview as well. Of course, Clint Kubiak out in San Francisco. So a majority, all these defensive coaches, let me give you some schedules here. This is what it looks like over the next couple of days, guys, as players start coming into town. We have this. Nate Schilhaus, him and Chris Shula will both be interviewed today with the Steelers. For Schilhaus, this is one of 4 interviews that he will have today. and it'll be done virtually. Also, today, Jeff Haffey. Jeff Haffey is going to be doing an interview with the Steelers for the head coaching position. And tomorrow, Jesse Mittner will be doing an interview as well. And again, the only person that I'm seeing so far on any of this list that's offensive minded at all is Clint Kubiak, of course, the offensive coordinator in San Francisco. But we did get a request out to him. So all those names that I did read, all those defensive minded coaches and Clint Kubiak are the requests that we have out at this moment. That doesn't mean more ain't going to come. That doesn't mean it ain't going to be, again, you might see a name that you never even seen before. We just don't know at this point. We'll be on top of it. Like flies on shit. We sure will be, guys. So again, the list, let me give you the list one more time. This is the people that we have requests out to. Nate Schilhaas, of course, the passing game coordinator. Yes, he's an offensive person. I guess I failed to say that. So yes, he is part of the. He's an offensive-minded person. Chris Shula, the defensive coordinator for the Rams, has an invite. Brian Flores, Anthony Weaver, Jesse Mittner, Ajiro Vero, and Jeff Haffey, and also Clint Kubiak, the latest request to be interviewed for the Steelers. And again, the schedule as of right now, and it could be adding names as we speak, but for the information we do have at the moment is Nate Schilhaas and Chris Shula will be interviewing with the Steelers today, virtually, and it is one of 4 interviews that Schilhaas will be doing today. And again, later today, Jeff Haffey will also be interviewing with the Steelers. Tomorrow, Jesse Mittner will be interviewing with the Steelers. And again, that is where we're at. And there's no guarantee that this list of guys is even yields the person that we are going to hire to be the next head coach of the Steelers. This is just what we know heading into the weekend. I'm sure it's going to pick up a lot of momentum, and you probably might see a lot of changes and adds and additions and things like this throughout the weekend, guys. So again, this is the most up-to-date information that we do have heading into divisional round weekend, guys. Who said January was boring for the Steelers? Who said January was boring? Not making the playoffs, guys. Here we are. It's just as busy as the rest of the year. I do want to say welcome back to everybody. My man Jamal says, yo, you know what time it is? I'm usually off on Friday, so it's hard for me to. Hey, you're good, my man. Brother, I appreciate you no matter what. Whether you're working, whether you're here. I always love to say thank you, man. Lindsay, good morning to you. Good afternoon to you, brother. She says, hey, Tyrone, bro, great seeing you, my man. You're back. You're back. I was wondering, man. I was worried about you. Great to see you. Jamal says defense wins championships. They sure do. They sure do. They sure do. And also trading pleasantries on the board to guys. But I do want to say to everybody, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This is episode 891. This is the Friday installment of the Two Dum Yinzers heading into the divisional round. Guys, we're going to be getting picks today, seeing who we believe is going to win all 4 games in the NFL and Monday night's national championship as Indiana does take on the Miami Hurricanes. So a lot of meaningful football this week, guys. If you love meaningful football, here it is. We're here for it. And let me give you some scoop. This was almost immediately after we got off the air yesterday. This information came out, widely known now, but let me share it because we haven't had a chance to speak about it yet. Jerry Dulac does report yesterday. Jerry Dulac, he reports this. The Steelers have told all of Mike Tomlin's assistant coaches they are free to pursue other career opportunities and won't be retained unless the new head coach wants to rehire them, per multiple sources. All coaches are under contract at the end of February. So just interesting. Who's going to stay? Who's going to go? Who wouldn't you mind staying? Right off the top, I do know that Jaylen Warren is certainly lobbying. Jaylen Warren is lobbying for Eddie Faulkner to remain here. That is one person that I'm certainly seeing that there's been a player connection to. Jaylen Warren is lobbying to keep Eddie Faulkner. Danny Smith, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Again, as written by Jerry Dulac yesterday, Steelers have told all of Mike Tomlin's assistant coaches they are free to pursue other opportunities and will not be retained unless the new head coach wants to rehire them. Per multiple sources, Jerry says all coaches are under contract through the end of February. So that being said, let me get on the board here, grab a couple messages. I'm not going to get behind today. I promise you. I swear I'm not going to get behind. Let's take a look at what's going on the board here. Main Debo. Tyrone. ASA. Hey, what's up, dude? Always great seeing ASA. A safe guy. I guess that's when I put it all together and read it Read it like a grown-up. That's the way it comes out. He says this, from the UK, new to the NFL, pick Steelers as my team because they won it the year I was born. This new era, regardless of what happens, is exciting, and it's very exciting. We do want to say welcome to the to the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base. Welcome to Steeler Nation. You already the man. And if there's a team that you're going to pick from the UK to like, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers is a safe move. And again, welcome to a safe guy. Yeah, Mike.
I'd say already smarter than Tater Tot. Picked an actual good team to follow from the UK.
Actually, yeah. I'm just wondering what the hell's going on over there in UK with the Tater Tot loving the Browns. But anyway, a safe guy. We're happy to have you. Welcome to the show, everybody. Be kind to safe guy. He's here for the ride, baby. We're trying to figure out what it is the Steelers team has to do to get back to those days of the winning ways, if you will. Welcome. Great seeing you. Great having you. Yinzer Joe says, welcome back, Cotter. Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back. That's right, baby. Yinzer Joe says Eddie Faulkner and Danny Smith could stay. Tortilla says the Thandard is the Thandard. Mike Tyson. There you go. I like it. Quick-witted as can be, as always, Tortilla. That is an early game ball candidate for the day on the terrible board. Tyrone says this. Ryan Danny Smith has an interview with the Bucs, Tyrone is saying. And you know what? If that's the case, good for him. Let the guy excel and have a career just like everybody else. And if they want to pay him more money, I'm for it. Unfortunately, special teams is never really an issue for us. So again, that's not the worst loss if it does happen. But again, you like the guy. He's running around gum in his mouth. How can you not like this guy? But as per Tyrone, he is interviewing with the Buccaneers. So that's going on. Also, Feel the Steel, my man. Always great seeing you, brother. He says, what's up, Watt fans? Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. How you doing, bro? Tortilla says Tater looked at beans on toast and said, yep, I'll root for that. Tater Tot becoming a little bit of a favorite in a weird kind of way here on the show. People do like messing with the Tot. Still loyal, bro. Great seeing you on the terrible board, my man. Always great seeing you back. He says this. I want Clint Kubiak. We do have a request out to interview Clint Kubiak, guys. I will regularly, as the show goes on, continue to give you the list of people we requested and the schedule that we do know so far, just in case you're jumping in, jumping out, missed it yet. So here in another few minutes, I will put those names up on, put them names out for you to have everybody up to date on what's going on with this team moving forward. Again, it's going to be a totally different look next year. and it's not just a different look from one year to the next. It's going to be a different look from quite some time. And at the end of the day, that's sports, At the end of the day, that's sports. My favorite quarterbacks and, everybody moves on, unfortunately, in sports, Sometime it's time. Tyrone, I want Shula, Flores, and Kubiak. You know what? Those three names will be amazing in theory, right? I'm still doing my research into these gentlemen and seeing what it is they do, their abilities, their success, and I'm learning a little bit more every day. But as far as names, those are three pretty good names right off the cut. So, we'll continue to look. And again, that sounds good, but we'll continue to see what's going on. Still Loyal says this. I like Shula too. If we have to go to defensive minded, that Clint Kubiak could be a nice look, because again, all these names so far on the requested interview list has 99% of them are defensive minded coaches. So it's going to be very interesting to see just the way that this game is evolving. The NFL I'm talking about, as it continues to evolve, what direction the Steelers go. Moving forward. So, it's going to be very interesting, guys. A very busy offseason. It'll sure be. Yinzer Joe says this. Heck yeah. Tortilla says, we're going after the top. Me too. Absolutely. We're not looking for bottom feeders. We're not looking at the cheapest names. That's encouraging. For sure. Feel the Steel, big announcement. He says this, Chief Hunglo, let's do a Steelers head coach announcement date prediction. I say January 22nd. All right, let's do it, man. I'm down. Steel Loyal says this, rather go offensive minded so our offensive coordinator doesn't get poached and take our offense with him. Again, if you're just tuning in, this was the report yesterday, guys. The Steelers have told all of Mike Tomlin's assistants they are free to pursue other opportunities and won't be retained unless the new head coach wants to rehire them. That's per multiple sources given to us by Jerry Dulac. All coaches are under contract through the end of February. So that is that. And again, let me give you the quick list, guys. These are the coaches that we have requested interviews for: Nate Schilhaas, Chris Shula, Brian Flores, Anthony Weaver, Jesse Mintner, Ajiro Avero, Jeff Haffey, and also Clint Kubiak as of right now. Again, I expect the number of people to change. I expect to see more, but we do know this as well. If you're wondering about any of these guys, this is what the schedule looks like at this moment. ESPN reports that the Rams offensive pass coordinator, Nate Schilhaas, will be interviewed today by the Steelers, also along with Chris Shula. Both of those gentlemen will be interviewed today virtually. So that's going on today. Also, Jeff Haffey will certainly, he's also going to be interviewed today by the Steelers. Tomorrow, Jesse Mintner will be interviewed by the Steelers. And again, the latest request out is to Clint Kubiak to interview him. Of course, he's still playing, and you'll be able to see his work this weekend. We'll get into picks on that game and a lot more coming up this show, guys. A lot of stuff to get into today as we're kind of wrapping up this week here. Obviously, we are wrapping up this week, and it was a crazy week. Monday, we were excited about the playoff game. Tuesday, we came in after the playoff lost and found out that Coach T stepped down. And ever since then, it's been pretty eventful for sure here in Steeler Nation, guys. So I do want to say welcome back. Glad to see everybody. Let me stick on the board here for a little bit again because I'm not going to get behind today. Let me start right here. Tyrone, January 31st, my birthday. That's awesome, dude. I can't. How old? If you don't mind, how old are you going to be, bro? Steel Loyal says that would be poetic, Tyrone. Yinzer Joe says, I think we need to change the head coach philosophy and get an offensive-minded coach to run the team. Steel Loyal says this: Tyrone gets a new head coach for his birthday. How freaking cool is that? Also, Tortilla says, has anyone seen Cody since he graduated? We've seen him a couple of times. I was wondering. I just know he gets busy sometime during the week. He works, and he's in the fields and those oil fields in Texas. So he's listening. I know that. But yeah, always great seeing the code, man. Lindsay says, season coming soon. What kind of season is that? I can't tell by the emoji. Lindsay's yes. Tyrone says, TC, what's up, dude? If Mike needs something to do, we'll be glad to have him in Alec. Absolutely. You know what? I don't know. I'm not giving up my Coach Warfield. I know Coach Warfield actually really well through my job at the radio station and other things, but he, I don't know. I would take Coach Warfield over Coach T. I'm just saying. But you know what? Going from Coach Zemanek to Coach Warfield and, a couple different guys in between every now and then, I think we got a pretty good system in Aliquip. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter who could be coaching over there. I think we're going to win a lot of football games at Quip. We just do. Steel Loyal says this: I'm keeping an eye on Kubiak and Shula this weekend, see how they act on the sidelines. That's a good thing to do, guys. Again, paying attention to these guys, and that way, that way we can educate ourselves better on what it is that we want and what our opinions is and what we should do moving forward. So both of those gentlemen, yes, will be on the sidelines this weekend. Keep an eye on that in the divisional round of the playoffs. Also, Tortilla Jackson says that playoff game feels like it was a month ago. You ain't kidding. You are not kidding. It was like a month this week. Tyrone likes Shula. Also, be a good fit, he says. Tyrone 25. Okay, cool, bro. That's awesome, man. You're getting old. You're getting old. Just kidding, my man. Yinzer Joe says, I don't think I've ever seen you stand that still, Vanilla. Yeah, you know what? I got to be honest with you here. I'm just staring at Vanilla's face. I'm just staring. The fact that the top of his head is shaped like a peanut M&M amuses me the most, and I just stare at this picture of his face all show. Go ahead, Mike.
That's kind of messed up. I look like a peanut M&M.
Well, look at the very top of your head. It has that same shape that a peanut M&M would have. Look above the head.
But you don't gotta draw attention to it.
Well, I can't help it, and I'm staring at it. And I can imagine everybody.
Fine. I'll go away.
No, don't go away. I'm not saying listen, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying I can't stop staring at it for 2 days now.
Look at that beautiful mug.
Mm.
This is what drives the ladies crazy. The lot lizards. They can't get enough with the thunder.
All right. You ain't gonna sell me.
I'm gonna consult with the ladies this weekend about their thought for the Steeler head coach.
I got to be honest with you. I didn't know that you had it like that until I seen you at the tailgate and there was women draped on you yelling Vanilla Thunder.
Exactly, man. You tell the ladies your name's Vanilla Thunder, they get a little excited.
Oh yeah. People say, why didn't you get video? Well, apparently I didn't want that video, but it happened. It was true. It was true. It went down.
Don't worry. Don't worry. There's video, brother.
Let's see what else be going on the board here. I'm going to start right here. Tortilla says, I went Shola 2. Oh, Aquarius. Gotcha. Aquarius season. Gotcha. Listen, I'm still learning the all those, what are they? Astrology signs. I know that I'm a Cancer. That's all I know. TC, good. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, bro. You ready for the big basketball game tonight? I'll quit with Beaver Falls. Always a good one here. Josiah Williams, what's up? What's your opinion on Flores? I like Flores. I've liked Flores for some time. We do have him requested for an interview. He will be talking to the Steelers sometime soon, along with about a half a dozen other names. I'll continue to get those out during the course of the show, just in case somebody just jumped in and has missed the list of people that we do have interviewed. But I'm a Flores fan. I would be on board for at least checking them out. Let's see what we got. Tortilla says, that cracked me up, Yinzer Joe. Also, Big Slim. What up, Big Slim 20s? My man. He says this. Good morning, my Steeler fam. Happy Friday, everybody. Great seeing you, dude. Glad to see you on the show. I hope you're ready for divisional weekend. If it's not the same, obviously, without our team, but I guess now we could enjoy it and not be so stressed out watching football this weekend. I guess that's a positive we could take away from it. But we got lots of good football this weekend, guys. 4 big games. It's going to decide who is in the AFC and the NFC the championship games next weekend. And also we have the national championship on Monday between Miami and Indiana. A lot of meaningful football. If you love good football, guys, this is the week to tune in for sure. Phil Steele says, honestly, just look at his nostrils. Looks like he just hit the white horse. And as I'm staring at him, I just keep noticing more and more things like his glasses. I can't imagine you could have got a picture of your glasses being any more crooked for your picture. But anyway, I love it. I'm not complaining. I'm just
it's Steele's on the right path. The nostrils, and then you got the glasses crooked. There's a reason they're crooked, brother.
You look short. You look like you're getting to that derpy Hollywood derpy level, but we'll take it. Tyrone says, I've cried. Steele says, I was an M&M for Halloween when I was 4 years old. Mike, you're still an M&M. Look at you. Yinzer Joe has
M&M's unite, baby. Let's go. Loyal, let's go.
Yinzer Joe has a picture of a peanut up there. Tortilla says, Mike, dumb thoughts were live at the tailgate. They sure were. Let me get this name right. I do want to say welcome. But I don't want to butcher it too bad because listen, my last name has been butchered my whole life. So I do make an attempt to at least try to make it sound somewhat close. Yakaba. Is that close? Yakaba 6083. I do want to say welcome to Yakaba to the Steelers. He says, McCarthy to the Steelers, please. I was a fan of McCarthy before, not so much now. And I'll get into that in a little bit more why as we go today as well. Tyrone says, yes, sir, I stole that from Mike. Actually, Cody stole it. Tortilla says, there will be signs. There will be signs, Tortilla. There will be signs. Josiah Williams says, Pat McAfee for special teams coordinator. There you go. I got to be honest with you, there was not more of an animated special teams player I've seen in a long time. Besides Pat McAfee, of course. Let's continue to move up the board here. Phil the Steel says that looks for sure as a sniff look. M&M for life, still loyal. Love it. Yinzer Joe says looking like a 1970s California rollerblader. I like that. Yes, with the headband and the them little banded weight things they put on their feet that match their headbands. Big Slim says yes, sir. RB, my man, what's going on, brother? He says this, always great to see RB. He says, it hit me this morning watching some film. Maybe now we won't have 8 special team only guys hanging on the roster at all time, and we could look at quarterbacks other than he doesn't turn it over. There's again, you're right, RB. There's going to be a lot of changes, and I don't know if people really understand what that really means. It's a lot of changes is coming. Don't drink that. Oh, my man Corey, what's up, Corey Beavers? He says, hey guys, Kubiak to the Steelers, please. He's lobbying for Clint Kubiak, of course, the offensive coordinator out in San Francisco. We'll be able to see his work this weekend as the 49ers will be taking on Seattle tomorrow at 8 o'clock. We'll get into all those games and so much more. Tortilla says, Mike looks like he plays power forward for the Flint Tropics. I like it. I like it. Lindsay says, no McCarthy. And that's kind of where I'm leaning now. But again, I'll give you my explanation shortly. Tyrone, I can't wait to pull up to the draft. Are you coming down to the draft, dude? Because we might be down there. I don't know at this point. I wasn't planning on it, but we may very well be down to the draft, Tyrone. So keep me posted on that, man. We'll have to have a few beers. Phil says at YJ, yes, Yinzer Joe. Yeah, a 70s roller coaster, Vanilla Thunder, the White Powder King. It sounds like a movie. That's an 80s movie, in my opinion. And then Loud Harley, what's up, dude? Always great seeing you back on the terrible board. Loud Harley says Shula McCarthy is garbage. I kind of summed up my opinion on McCarthy yesterday. And this, again, is no bad word on him or the people I'm going to also include in this point that I'm trying to make. McCarthy, Coach T, and Jim Harbaugh are basically the same coach. Their history is basically the same. They roughly have the same kind of records. They have the same Super Bowl history, all 3 getting 1. But the game has kind of passed that kind of coach by. They're a solid coach. They're going to get you wins. They're going to make, they're going to keep you a contender, a good football team, a solid football team for the most part. But they all kind of been passed by in this league as the league continues to change with a lot of it's a totally offensive game. Every game that comes down to it, the team seems to drive just down the field just easily, just like nothing. It's all about the offense. But again, I guess if you do things right, you could bring in again, that's just kind of where I'm coming from. Those 3 guys, they fit into a category for me personally in their work. And I just, again, I don't know if Harbaugh, Tomlin, or McCarthy should be our next move, just because I think that it's time to make a change here, guys. It had nothing to do with a lot of things, but the main point, getting this thing turned around and keeping up with the rest of the league and not getting embarrassed. Let me give you this interesting statistic, guys. Nick Chubb, who was on that team the other night that came in here and beat us 30-6 for Houston. Nick Chubb, in the past 15 years, get this, has more playoff wins in Pittsburgh than Mike Tomlin. Nick Chubb, in the last 15 years, has more playoff wins in Pittsburgh than Coach T. It was time. It just was. Of course, he beat us with Houston on Monday night. He was on Cleveland when they beat us a few years back. And the one team the Steelers did beat in the last 15 years in the playoffs was the Miami Dolphins. So you can look it up to check me on that. Nick Chubb, more playoff wins in Pittsburgh in the past 15 years than Coach T. 2 wins against Coach T's 1. So again, it was time to move on. It was time to move on, guys. Let me see what else is going on the board here. We got a lot of stuff to get into today, and I will continue to put out the requested interviews that the Steelers do have out and the scheduled interviews that we do know as of right now. Let me stay up on the board here for a couple minutes, though. RB says this, just asking if these guys are joking, suggesting all these former players. I think that most of these people are when they're talking about these former players for the most part. Some people may not be, I don't know. The coach at any capacity at the NFL level with 0 coaching experience, or they just dropped on their heads as kids. But one thing though, none of our big three ever had head coaching experience. But point taken, and it's not even. It's just kind of Piggybacking off what you said there. Still loyal says, haven't seen any of that in here at RB, but I assume it's a joke. I hope so, LOL. Tortilla says, I'd rather risk it and sign a young guy and give him at least a handful of seasons than sign an older established coach. Tyrone says, Shula head coach, Nate offensive coordinator, Raheem Morris. There's another guy. He had big aspirations. Didn't quite work out for him. But you know what? It doesn't work out for a lot of people in Atlanta. They just don't. Again, they're strong. There's good franchise. There's good organizations, and there's some that aren't. And again, at the end of the day, this is why I do believe that the Steelers will land on their feet, because we are a solid organization. We've been for a long time. And 3 gentlemen came and done very well here. So, again, I don't see any reason why the next person won't do well as well, guys. A lot of wins over those years. Matter of fact, we've had less Steeler coaches than they've had popes in the same amount of time, guys. Very, it's interesting. Again, let me pull up some more here. Right here looks like where we be. All right, I think I found it. Still loyal says this. He says, love McCarthy, but don't want him as our head coach. I'm kind of, because he's a hometown guy. I mean, he's a Pittsburgher. I like that. And again, back in the day, that was kind of one of my selling points. But again, he kind of flatlined with his job, as these other guys that I have in that category. And again, I think it's time for a change for the way that this team is heading. I think I missed also. Oh, right here, Tyrone. Definitely pulling up. You guys should do. You guys too. You know what? Maybe we will, Ty. If you're going to be there, maybe we will. Maybe that will be the straw that breaks the camel's back for me. Still loyal says, haven't seen any. Okay, we did get that. Tortilla, I'd rather we got that. Loud Harley. That's where we're at. Right here on Loud. He says this. He had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks at Green Bay. If I'm correct, the game passed him by. Exactly. He falls in that category. Look at Jim Harbaugh, Coach T, and Mike McCarthy's careers. I mean, if you want more of the same, I think that you hire somebody like McCarthy. But again, I'm not for that. I like the Pittsburgh connection. I'm a big fan of Pittsburgh connections and bloodlines. I'm a homer. I'm a Yinzer. Whatever. Shoot me. But at the end of the day, I don't think any 3 of those guys would be beneficial moving forward for us for the Steelers. I just don't. Again, I'm not saying I don't like them. Matter of fact, I like all of them. I like all 3 of them guys. But it's their time. The league passed them by. Can they rebound? Sure. Let's see what they can do moving forward. But that's just kind of where I think that we're at right now. I'm going to move right here. Lindsay says, wow, maybe on that the playoff statistic we had where Nick Chubb has had more playoff success here in the last 15 years than Coach T. So again, guys, it was time. It was just time. That's all. I like that lineup. Still loyal says that Tyrone. I did too. Nice lineup. RB says you don't want Raheem Morris. He's another cover 2 guy. You don't want a cover 2 coach. All they know is 3 plays. It's kind of same what we just dealt with. Good point. Ty says this to Chief Somber. My man, always great seeing Somber on the terrible board. Somber says this. Apparently Shula told the Titans, no, LOL. At least he has standards. Exactly. And I was thinking about that damn Arthur Smith with all these interviews he has now. He got another an invite up to Detroit for their offensive coordinator position, and the head coaching job in Arizona, and the head coaching job in everywhere, Tennessee. I mean, what's this guy going to do? What's he going to run next year for his follow up to this beauty that he ran this year? His offense. Maybe he'll go 6 offensive guards. There may or may not be a quarterback involved. Who knows? Who knows what this guy's going to do? But again, I'm glad he's not going to be here. Arthur Smith's offense was hot trash, to be nice. 18-16, Tyrone is saying. Debo on at the wrong time. That's what Jamal's saying. Tortilla, if we bring in McCarthy, that'll increase the chances that Rodgers comes back. As much as I like him, I just want to move on. That's kind of where I'm at too. Do we want to kick this can down the road anymore? I mean, we're getting an opportunity to make changes now for the better for the team. And again, I'm not taking anything away from Coach T, guys. He is Coach T. He will be on the he will be in the Hall of Fame, and he will also be on Mount Rushmore here in Pittsburgh forever, as far as the coaches go. But guys, where we're at right now is what it is, and you know what? We might as well go all out. We said it last year. Mike and I says if you're starting over, not even starting over. But if you're in the position that you're in right now, you got to do it right. You got to kind of go all out. Don't half-ass, and I think we'll land on our feet. I truly do. Um, I truly do believe that. Corey says this. No, don't drink that. Says, not gonna lie, I'm not keeping up with football now. Hurts too much. And I know you're busy doing your thing, bro. And I say, great job. Go check out Corey. Don't drink that. All over social media and right here on YouTube, guys. If you're into conspiracy theories like I am, go check out Corey. And don't drink that. A lot of good stuff. A lot of interesting conspiracy theory type things. Jamal says the best defense in the NFL is a cover 2 defense. Oscar says, good show. Good morning. Thank you, Oscar. Welcome to the Terrible Board. We're glad to have you. Welcome to the show. RB says, I'd much rather have Flores as a defensive coordinator than Morris. Flores has creativity in his scheming, at least. In my opinion, this is from Yinzer Joe. He says this, in my opinion, I don't think it matters right now what head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator we bring in. It's going to be a rough 10 years in my eyes. Tallman used just to get 8 wins just by being on the sideline. We aren't near that yet. Loud Harley says this, please, can we get away from the Rodgers? And that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, as he finishes up his statement, says, let's go forward. 42-year-old players just don't cut it. Albeit he did a good job. I mean, for what it was. But you're 100% right. This is a young man's league, and he's closer to 50 than he is to 30. And 30 is considered old in the NFL. So, Loud, I couldn't agree with you more. Lindsay says, I disagree, Yinzer. Also, Steel Loyal says Flores ain't going to be our head defensive coordinator. He's either going to be a head coach or stay as the Vikings coordinator. That's true. Maybe, you don't want to come back as a defensive coordinator, which would totally be understandable as well. Tortilla says, I mean, shit, if Tomlin is as bad as everyone says and does nothing, then imagine what having a coach would do. We'll never lose again. It's Tortilla. Yakaba. Again, I hope I'm saying that right. He says, guys, thanks for the warm welcome. It's just a scream name. Yaku from the old cartoon. Okay, gotcha. Anyway, I said McCarthy, please, because he knows the game and he can bring immediate stability. Also, I'm a Bengals fan. And that's one thing that you are going to get from Coach T and Coach Harbaugh and Coach McCarthy. You will get stability. That's not a bad thing. But it was just time for us to move forward. And that's what I want people to understand. There's no hard feelings. I would hang out with Coach T, given the opportunity. TC says, I don't think Flores is coming here. Almost like it was said earlier on, TC, I kind of agree with you in a sense. Unless he has the head coaching job wrapped up, I think there's really no sense for him to come here. He's trying to work his way up through the company as well and become a great head coach one day. And I don't know if coming back as a defensive coordinator on a team that needs a head coach, it would be the most ideal move for Flores. It would be nice for us. It would benefit us. But again, as far as the gentleman goes, who knows what his aspirations are, but you would think that's kind of almost not going backwards, but not really making any, I don't know. It seems unlikely, but again, we're not going to roll it out, guys. I'm going to get this list out here just in a moment of everybody that we do have requests out for interviews and the schedule that we do know as of right now for the interviews. Let me grab a couple more of these messages, guys. Tyren says, no, Yinzer Joe, we're going to be okay. RB says, this cover 2 was the best defense 15 years ago. Teams run so many complex cover zones like cover 9, cover 7, and man hybrids. At least the real good coaches do. Lindsay says this, people are so emotional right now. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm trying to weather the storm for the most part, guys. We do talk about the important things, but on the other hand, guys, we are Steeler Nation, and things are going to change through time. It's inevitable. One day we didn't have a franchise quarterback anymore, and that changed our franchise drastically. Yes, he didn't have the strongest last few years on his career, but at the end of the day, there are constant changes in pro sports, and what we got to do to stick together and get ready for the next chapter, guys, and maybe it'll be even better. And we'll have more to chitter about, more to celebrate about, guys. That's, I think ultimately the goal for us. TC says this, McCarthy, it didn't go well in Dallas. And that was when I liked him. I liked him before he went to Dallas. I thought, you know what, he would make an okay coach. But again, you're going to get that stability as you do from Harbaugh, Coach T, and McCarthy. Those three are the same coach, in my opinion. You're going to get the same coach. Again, look at their history, look at their numbers. A lot of things match up between those three gentlemen. And I just don't know if that's where we want to be next. I think there's a moving forward here of coaches that are innovative. They're moving forward. They're turning these. Again, this is an offensive league. You got to be able to hang with your offense. If you can't, you're going to struggle big time. And again, I just don't know if that style of those three solid head coaches that is going to bring stability. Again, wherever they go, they're going to have stable organizations. The Giants, I like what's going to happen up there with Harbaugh. And again, we'll see about the other guys moving forward. Tortilla says, I'm an alcoholic. I lash out. I like that. RB says, remember, Flores has also taken 2 DC interviews as well. He's not ruling it out. That's true. Smart on his part anyway. At least get in and get the interviews and talk to people, see what's going on. I think that's smart on his end. Tortilla says, if Tater were here, I would take all my anger out on her. Loud says this. We got to get out of the dinosaur 3-4 defense. I think you did. Was it you that mentioned that yesterday? I think there was. Loud says this. We got to get out of the dinosaur 3-4 defense. Time to move on. Queen is too small for the inside linebacker. Time to go to the 4-3. Trade Watt, get value for him. We have linebackers, need defensive linemen, wide receivers. Again, it's a dawn of a new era. Who knows? Who knows what we're going to see out there come September as the 2026 season does kick off, guys, because again, we shouldn't expect anything as a new head coach is coming in, hopefully new philosophies, new everything. So who knows what in the world we're going to see when it does kick off in September, guys. Still Loyal says, get with the times. You're right. I mean, if you want to be successful, and you want wins on Sundays and you want wins in January and maybe games in February, this is kind of where it just leads us. It led us, guys. Tyrone, me and Somber says, Somber's coming down too. Oh shit! It's gonna be crushing, baby. We're gonna have all kind of people down here for the draft. It's gonna be a great time. Yeah, Mike.
I think we have to rethink our draft plans there, Ryan.
I think so too. For the good, right?
Yeah, for the better.
Yeah, I think so too. We weren't considering going initially, but we just might. We'll see what's going on. Somber and Tyrone, bro. It's almost like we have to. You know what I mean? Steele says no more 3-4 defense. It's time for 4-3 and 4-2-5. Ty says 4-3. RB says I'm not going to tell you Smith is the best, but you're kind of handcuffed when your system is exploiting the middle of the field with big sets, and your head coach says don't use the middle of the field. Again, we're gonna. That's behind us. We're gonna. I agree. Let's see what the hell. Let's see what the hell we come up with next. What we got next? Sommer says bring back the zone blitz. Fuck it, go Blitzburg style, baby. Dick LeBeau. RB says this. He says Loyal is 1,000% correct. A 2-4-5-3-4 needs to go as the base defense. It's been a long time. It wouldn't hurt to see a different change, and maybe that helps stop the run a little bit better, as we did struggle stopping the run, of course, the past couple years. Loud says you're right. Still Loyal says we got the guys for the zone blitz. I don't know why we didn't. Somber. Tortilla says this. Smith had some good games here and there. It just want to have those games somewhere else, and that's kind of how I feel. I don't want anybody to feel there's any kind of disrespect, guys, with the exiting any coaches. I support you. I just kind of support you there now. You know what I mean? It just I'm ready for my team to win. That's all. That's all. That's all. Let's move forward here. Tyrone cut Johnu, cut PK. Johnu was literally. Listen, he did great things in Miami. I give him that. I give him that. So I don't know what the hell happened. He just has no open field ability. He turns into a white end. And we don't need any more white ends. White ends get they catch the ball and get tackled. I was expecting John O. Smith to be a little bit better in the open field and be able to be elusive and a little bit more athletic and make plays. He just didn't. We might as well brought Matt Spaeth back and paid him nothing. The way that kind of turned out with him, unfortunately. Somber says nothing makes sense. Loyal, LOL. Tortilla says is Duggar under contract? No, he should be gone. Should sign him and cut him again. You know what? He kind of fell apart when he was needed. I think of the only touchdown that was had in the Cleveland game. It was because Duggar turned his back on a guy that was catching a ball on the 1 yard line. So again, Duggar, I loved him at first, but he kind of wore off as time went along. But again, we're going to look at everything. Everything is on the table right now, guys, as we head into this new era of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, it's going to be strange times, but here we are. Ty, yes, he's a free agent as far as Duggar goes. Ty also says Gainwell only one I'm signing. Yeah, come on, man. You got to bring Gainwell back. You got to bring Gainwell back. I would love for him to be a part of what we're going to do moving forward. RB says also Loyal Flores in Minnesota is on the outs. The Vikings claim he is the too blunt and demanding on guys. He doesn't fit Minnesota. And I like that. I like blunt. I like demanding on guys. That's, that's getting guys ready. Getting in people's asses, making sure they're ready to go, firing them up. That's not a bad thing. I like that. I like that style. That's just me. Steel Loyal says this at RB, they're lost. LOL. They're losing a good one. Absolutely. They sure are. TC says Mike Tomlin from Dungy Tree and won a Super Bowl. Dungy from Knoll Tree. There you go. That's good. Hey, good connection as any of them. Dungy, one of the better, I would have liked to see Dungy be a lot more successful. He was, of course, the coach early in the Tampa Bay years, and then also with the Super Bowl, and then also with the Colts. I think he could have done so much more in this league. I do. Such a great guy, Tony Dungy. Tortilla had 2003 a launcher, but that was stable. Had no motor mount on it, but it was stable. Yinzer Joe says, I know everyone is looking to be positive. I'm definitely not. I know you're good, dude. Not trying to be a downer. He says, I'm just being realistic. With all the coordinators missing and the old players on the team, I just don't see it good. It's as valid point as any. It's all welcome, bro. Keep the opinions and every comment coming. It's we have to look at it all. That's where we're at right now. We have to look at everything. If we want to make the right decision, if we want the Steelers to make a right decision, every option has to be looked at. No stone must be unturned. This is one of the biggest off seasons in recent Steeler history, and I'm going to call it Super Bowl history because, again, I think that applies. Phil the Steelers says this Steelers had a defensive coordinator that can cover that field how vanilla powders his nose. Just look at those nostrils. It's a clown vanilla day. And I can't stop. I can't stop staring at him. I'm just staring at the top of his head this whole time.
Haters. Bunch of haters.
Tyrone says we got to make moves. We're going to make moves, Joe. And that's the thing. We're not going to sit on our hands. It's going to be a totally different team than what we're used to. So again, all opinions are welcome, please, because who knows what's right? Who knows how it's going to turn out? If you say you you probably don't. And let's move on. Tortilla says 2 to 3 years. Yinzer Joe. Once we get Baby Manning, it's over. TC says I don't think about coaching trees until I thought about Nolan Dungy, and two great ones. Of course, Tony Dungy was a part of Chuck Noll's team. He did win the Super Bowls with him as well. So two great guys. I couldn't say I admire anybody much more than them two. No on Manning is what Tyrone is saying. Yinzer says, I don't believe a player because of his last name. I don't believe in a player because of his last name. Let's see. Tyrone says this, and he's decent at best. Tortilla, what about the DJ Lagway? Tortilla says, kidding, of course. Mark Malone, 3-4, 4-3. Doesn't matter how often we played base. How we played 4-3 base a bunch last year, just like I said we would. Tortilla says, Mannings haven't missed yet. They've been 3 for 3. Somber, the Lions podcast popped up my recommendation yesterday. I clicked it, and the entire chat was about having Arthur Smith interview. I said, my God. What do they see there? What? How could you be in Detroit, especially where you were last year, and you had one of the best records, and you had a really nice team, and you kind of fell apart this year? But how could you look to Arthur Smith after what you've seen go on in Pittsburgh and think, wow, I got to have me some of that? Now, wherever he's called, as I said yesterday, he better run, not walk to that interview, because when they sit back and watch your video, they watch your tape and see what the hell your offense looked like. I can't imagine. I don't know. Maybe I just don't get it. Maybe I just don't get it. Tortilla says this. Honestly, as long as it's not Carson Beck, I'm happy. But could choose. If I could choose, I'm going Manning. Troy, what's up, dude? Troy Klingsmith, my man. He says this. Shola, and Sirhas. You know, and he is the first interview. Of course, Nate Schilhaas is going to be here today, or interviewing today virtually with the Steelers. Let me grab a couple more, and I'm going to get that information for you guys. Sorry, I do apologize. Mark Malone, what's up, bro? Always great to see Mark Malone. He says the Fry Daddy is our white end. Hey, that's what I'm saying. We don't need another white end. I need a skill player. I need a guy that can be out in open field and make and escape people. I didn't love what we got from John Smith. Unfortunately, I thought it was going to be a little bit better than that. Tallman called him a cracker and hates him. Street Loyal says Muth is blacker than Jonu. I mean, basically in their game, Jonu was rough, man. I was hoping for a little bit more. Somber says it's revolving door with our secondary free agent signing. They'll start off well and they'll fall off. Jeremiah Young said, as of right now, and again, Jeremiah, I would like to look at all the options. I mean, it seems nice right now, and right now that's kind of where the numbers and the odds are leaning. However, there's a lot of things that we have to look at, and again, this is nothing that I think that we should be rushed. This is going to be the face you're going to be looking at for at least the next 10 years. So I think that this got to be something we got to seriously put a lot of work and focus in to make sure we get the right guy, whoever it may be, to turn things around for the Steelers, guys. Ty says, hey, Jeremiah, and I do want to say welcome, Jeremiah. Welcome to the show, Jeremiah Young on the board. Somber says, Loyal, you might be right. Also, Troy says this, hey, a case of Red Bulls and you're good to go. Great having you, Troy. Steel Loyal says Red Bulls and smelling salts. Ty says, pay JPJ. Absolutely. That's in my list, guys. We're going to talk about that a little bit today, too. What are we going to do with some of these guys coming up? JPJ and Cam and TJ and, again, the highest paid defense in the league. Something's got to give. We're in a transition. I think everything should be on the table. Everything should be on the table at this point, at least for consideration. Beyond that, I don't know, but we will follow it all. Jeremiah says this might take 20 days. I honestly think Steelers want Packers coach and Malik Wilson. Tortilla says the vanilla bumper. Talking about that nub on the top of his head there. I just keep staring at Mike's head this whole show. That's all I have to look at. My notes, a couple screens, and that peanut on the top of Mike's shoulders. Tyrone says Vanilla Thunder looks like an 80s basketball. Yeah, he does.
You know, this is the kind of abuse I get. This fucked up, boys.
Hey,
you take a little sabbatical.
Hey,
and this is what you're suggesting me to?
If we didn't love you, we wouldn't be saying these things.
I know, right? I'm feeling the love,
Jeremiah.
It's like I'm with my family. It's all abusive.
Absolutely. I'm just wondering if your nose is crooked or your glasses are crooked as I look at the picture, because your nose seems to be straight, but the glasses are crooked. So I don't know how that plays out.
The nose is straight. The glasses are crooked because of the headset.
Okay. What about the shave? How about
my ears?
What about
my ears?
How about your crooked shave? How does that? Where does that play into the matter? All right. Let me move on, please. Let me move on. I'm going to go right here. Would you agree, Tyrone, is what Jeremiah did say? Also on the board, I'm going to start right there. Loud says we have 12 draft picks this year. That's right. We have 12 draft picks, guys. Things are going to be nice. Things are going to be okay. A lot of people doubting how things are going to go. And again, I think we're the Steelers, guys. Same with Aliquippa, kind of brought up in the thing earlier. From right here. Coach is just a manic. He was the coach for 1 million years. He won 1 million championships and 1 million games. And they said when he left, they're going to go down. But you know what? They bring in a new guy. It's a good organization. They win football games. The Steelers are similar in that sense. They're going to land on their feet. They've only been doing it for 60 years. And they've been doing it better than anybody. So, again, the doubters, I'm calling bullshit, at least as of right now, unless things tend to go downhill and go downhill fast. But I don't think that this is going to be that big of a change in the sense of success in being able to move forward, guys. I don't see a big drop. I guess unless something crazy happens between now and then, but we'll certainly be keeping our eyes on that as we do move along. But yes, Loud, they do have 12 draft picks. We can't swing and miss on all of them. Impossible. I say we use them to get up that chart and get us some value on in the draft this year. Get us some just my opinion on that. Tyrone says, I don't think so. Maybe Willis, I agree, but no, Coach, no. Mark Malone says Smith before Tomlin actually used the middle of the field was a staple, actually. Tortilla says, when your enemy makes mistakes, don't interpret them. Let them have Arthur. Yeah. Yeah, don't, by all means, don't talk anybody out of keep taking Arthur Smith. Let me find just a nice notable place here that I can stop to get into some of this other information so I don't lose my spot entirely. I'm going to go right about here. All right, guys. Let me give you these lists one more time. This, as of the latest list that I know, are the people that have been requested for interviews for the Steelers as we speak. Nate Schelhaas, Chris Shula, Brian Flores, Anthony Weaver, Jesse Mintner, Ajiro Avero, Jeff Haffey, and also to the most recent one, Clint Kubiak. That request has been out, guys. It has been sent out to San Francisco. A few of these guys still playing this weekend. You'll be able to see their work in action as the NFL divisional round does go down this weekend, guys. We're going to get that more toward the end of the show and our picks on those games. But this is what the scheduling looks like as of right now. Unless things have updated within the last 20 minutes, which is possible, this is what we have. ESPN reports Rams pass coordinator Nate Schelhaas will interview with the Steelers today, virtually. He will have 4 more interviews also today. Nate Schelhaas, again, the passing coordinator for the Rams, virtual interview with the Steelers today. Also, 4 other interviews around the league today. Chris Shula will also interview with the Steelers today. The defensive coordinator for the Rams, he's scheduled to interview with the Steelers. Also, Jeff Haffey, he is scheduled to interview with the Steelers today. Jesse Mintner is a Saturday interview. So the wheels are turning. All we could do at this point is just try to figure out what the hell is going on, keep up with what the Steelers are doing. And again, it's already in the moves. And by the end of this show, who knows? There might be 5 more requests. There might be 5 more interviews scheduled. We don't know, so we are keeping an eye on all that stuff, guys, as we do move forward in this Pittsburgh Steeler offseason. I didn't think – listen, if I thought that Tomlin was going to do what he did, I thought it was a possibility. I just didn't think it was that soon. I didn't think it was going to be the day after the loss, guys. So it kind of threw the sports world here in Pittsburgh into a frenzy that's a good frenzy. We'll take it. We love our Steelers, we love our sports, and we love good talking points. So, again, at the end of the day, guys, we're going to keep on top of everything moving forward as far as this coach search goes. And as Mike Tomlin takes his place on that Mount Rushmore, guys, whether he goes and coaches somewhere else, you got to say that Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin, Mount Rushmore. I'm proud of it. I don't care what anybody says. That's my coach, Mount Rushmore here in Pittsburgh. And we'll see what we could bring in next. Let's take a look at what else we could talk about. This right here from Polymarket. It has percentages on Steelers coaches. Now I don't even know what this is, but let me give this to you. 53% are saying Clint Kubiak could be the Steelers' favorite to be the head coach. Again, this kind of goes against the odds I got from Vegas yesterday, but this is by Polymarket. Polymarket's official NFL next head coach favorites. Clint Kubiak, guys, 53%. Brian Flores, 44%. Vance Johnson, 43%. Brian Flores again. Oh, okay, I got it. I see what it's doing here. Clint Kubiak to Atlanta, 53% is what they're saying. Brian Flores to the Steelers, 44% is what they're saying. I see what they did here. Vance Johnson to Arizona for 40 is a 43% chance. Flores to the Raiders, a 42% chance. Matt Nagy, Tennessee, 41% chance. Chris Shula, 36% chance to Miami. Again, in the Vegas odds I seen yesterday had Shula at the top of the list. Also, Brian Flores is 25% to be the Baltimore Ravens head coach next year. And Cliff Kingsbury, 24%, according to Polymarket, is 24% odds to become the Browns head coach, guys, next season. So, again, you're going to see 100 things. You're probably going to see 100 different versions of it. Just by going what we've seen yesterday, by what we're seeing today, and these odds, they're totally different. So again, guys, I don't know. We have to look at everything, leave no stone unturned, guys, as we do make this move. It's a very important move, and this will affect your football team for possibly decades. It's got to be the right move. It has to be the right move. It has to be. What else we got here? How about this one? Let's talk about a couple players for a minute. Cam Hayward, he had a really good season last year, and I thought he had a better than average season this year. And I don't always go by PFF, but it just cut me odd. And let me explain why. When you're watching a Steeler game and they're doing the game introductions, below them it has their overall grade. And they have Cam always number one defensive lineman in the league, which I don't agree with. Ultimately, I can think of a couple right off the top of my head who I think are better. However, this is what PFF does. Has Mike. They have him graded first overall as a defensive lineman, second overall in run defense, and pass defense 4 overall, which is all fantastic. That's all fantastic. But shouldn't that person be on the first team All-Pro team, as Cam made it as the second team All-Pro team? Which is the real Cam Hayward, Mike? Is it the number one in the number one defensive tackle in the league? Or is it the guy that made the second team All-Pro game? Neither are bad things. I'm just saying, my opinion is I think he's more the second team All-Pro guy, not the best defensive tackle in the league. That's just my opinion.
Me too.
Is that where it lies for you?
I think, Cam played second. He's more the second team guy out of those two like rankings there. He was hot and cold this year. You know?
It wasn't as tough as last year. He did play his ass off, though.
It wasn't as tough as last year, no. But there were games that you would notice, like, where's Cam? He's not occupying blockers. He's not moving a single guy backwards when he's being a one-on-one blocker. Like, take a look at the last 2 games. Baltimore Ravens, he was all over the place. You noticed him watching that game. Right. Did you notice him in the playoff game?
No, I noticed him.
Outside the handful of plays, I didn't notice him a whole lot.
I noticed him chasing Derrick Henry down the sideline in that Ravens game. That was effort.
Like, I give you, that was great effort. I'm never gonna question Cam on his effort of running down a play, but I just think he's always been too inconsistent of a player. I've been seeing this from Cam since since we lost to Jacksonville in the playoffs.
Yeah,
all those years ago. That's Cam Hayward to a T. Will be a monster one game, and then the game that it counts the most, the playoff games, he disappears.
I couldn't agree more.
He disappears.
I couldn't agree more.
That's just who he is. Like, I think he's a good player, but he's not an all-time great because he hasn't done it in the clutch.
All right. Speaking of that Baltimore Ravens game, I couldn't agree more with you, Mike. Let me get to that Baltimore Ravens game. Kyle Vanoy in Baltimore still salty over that loss to the Steelers that didn't allow them to enter the playoffs, which allowed us to get into the playoffs. This comment was by Kyle Vanoy. He says, it hurts because they just weren't a good football team. The Pittsburgh Steelers, and we acknowledge we weren't that great of a football team. However, we've won 10 of our last 12 games against the Ravens. Right. 10 of our last 12. They're almost becoming not a rivalry anymore. It's becoming so lopsided.
Yeah.
10 of our last 12.
Exactly. You have to win once in a while to be a rival.
Yeah. Even Cleveland is making a better effort these days to do that. So
yeah,
as they beat us this year, and Baltimore did not beat us. We did beat Baltimore 10 of the last 12 games. So just keep that in mind, guys, as your Baltimore Ravens fans continue to talk all their shit. We beat them 10 of the last 12 games we played them. As Steele says on the board right there, still loyal. We might not have had a good football team, but we still beat the Ravens. ESPN names the Steelers' rookie class as one of the worst in the NFL this year. ESPN's naming the Steelers' rookie class one of the worst in the NFL this year. You guys take that? You guys believe that? You disagree? What do you think about that? The worst rookie class, Mike.
Usually, like when you hit on your first round pick, like they did on Derek Harmon, take a look at the stats. Like you can see how much he had made that run defense. They went from when he's not in the lineup, one of the worst. When he's in the lineup, they're one of the best in the NFL, if not the best. That's usually you hit on your first round pick, everyone praises your draft class. So I don't think it's one of the worst. I think it was so far a work in progress, especially when your number one overall pick hits, you're on the right path of having a really good draft. Because you can have one great pick and everyone else sucks, and people go, "Man, that was a pretty good draft class because you got this guy out of it." So right now, I'm thinking it's trending to a good class.
All right. ESPN says we're one of the worst rookie classes. So I don't know on that. We will continue to follow. And again, I Derek Harmon was tough. I give him that. Derek Harmon was tough, and a couple of these other guys did make plays. So, but again, this is what as Steele was saying on the board here. Jack Sawyer was a good one. I don't know if I agree with it entirely, but it's just interesting that this is what ESPN is reporting. What else?
Yeah,
What
and
else?
like Zach
Sign.
Sawyer in I was gonna say Jack Sawyer, he had some for like graded players and all that, blah blah blah. For snap count, he had like impactful plays. He was one of the better ones in the NFL, not just out of rookies, but one of the better players in the league for impactful plays in limited
All right.
snap situations.
All right, there you go. Also, guys, another personnel move. We did talk about a couple of offensive linemen that we did sign back onto the roster, and also the futures, the reserves that we did sign over the past couple of days. The Steelers did also sign a wide receiver, Brandon Smith, from the New England Patriots roster. Wide receiver Brandon Smith to the reserve future contract as well. So that is another player that has been added to the Steelers by way of reserve future contracts. That very minimal, again, with all this news and all the information, everything going on with the Steelers right now, very, very minimal interest in things like that. But I at least want to keep it out there to keep everybody up to date. Steelers did sign New England wide receiver Brandon Smith to a reserve future contract.
And YA Black was a solid contributor down the stretch in the second half of the season, and Carson Bruner was a viable special teams player. So it was a very, very, I don't want to say a great class, but it's on shaping up to be a pretty good draft class.
All right, there you go. Straight from the peanut head gallery. Let me move on. I'm going to get back on the board here in a couple seconds. Here's one for you. I talked about this. Nick Chubb has more playoff wins than Coach T in Pittsburgh in the last 15 years. I did say that. I made that point earlier. Get these, just a couple more things about how things have not been going well. And I'm going to put an end to it because, again, I don't think that I think it's time to move on. But just some interesting things. We've had one postseason win in the last how many ever years? Listen to this. If you would have had one playoff win in the last 9 years, you would have had a better play. You would have more playoff success than our team. One playoff. That's far from being spoiled, guys. Wanting your team to win a playoff game is not spoiled. Again, if you would have won one playoff game in the last 9 years in this league, you would have been more successful than the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that one, with that being said, my final words, and I'm going to close the door on all my things build up over time in the bad things and the good things. The ebbs and flows that are a natural part of the NFL. There's a natural ebb and flow of the league that allows teams to continue to draft good players, have a chance to win in January, and be in the middle. This is why I don't want to hardball. This is why I don't want to Coach T. This is why I don't want Mike McCarthy. Again, that particular style of coach is kind of preventing the ebbs and the flows that you naturally need. You naturally need as a NFL football team. You need to lose some to get some high draft picks. You need to get to the playoffs and win. The natural ebbs and flows, they just weren't there, and they weren't able to be accessed with our coach. And it's been that way for, again, some time. It's nothing that just came up. But again, if you would look at these same particular coaches around the league, and I say this over and over, those three men are the same coaches. And it's been the same thing. There's got to be ebbs. There's got to be flows. There's reasons other teams are moving forward that faster than we are. I'll get to it in the comments here in just a second. But as I was saying, the ebbs and flows that are natural in the league that allow you to become to have opportunities, they just kind of got stopped. And again, it's not just our coach; it's that style of coach. Look at what happened to Baltimore. Same thing. They had an MVP quarterback, for crying out loud. Is it any surprise that he got fired? That Harbaugh got fired? And again, those three guys, that particular style of head coach, we should be done with for quite some time. Again, the league passed them by. It's unfortunate. I do hope they all have success moving forward, but it's just time for the Pittsburgh Steelers to move forward. That is the last of my Mike Tomlin, and I don't even want to say bad mouthing, just obvious. I mean, it's obvious truths. But again, it is time to move forward, and we are going to move forward, guys. And I'm going to get here to the board in just 1 second. We have 12 draft picks in April as the draft is here in Pittsburgh. Expect big things to happen. And I'm talking big. I wouldn't be surprised to see Watt parlayed in on something. I wouldn't be surprised to see something big happen this year, as this team making its turn and turning that bend. And this is the move that we're going to, these are going to be the moves that set the tone for this team moving forward, guys. So a lot of different things. A lot of things going to happen this offseason. No two ways about it. But do remember, we do have 12. That's right, 12 draft picks, guys. As we do head to the draft in this offseason. So much to get through, guys. We have free agent signings. We have everything. Everything is coming up, guys. So do stick with us. We have a lot of stuff to get into this offseason. Let me grab a couple more things, and we are going to get back on the board. I'm seeing interesting convo going on, and I want to be involved. I got to get involved. JPJ, pay the man. TJ Watt, package him somewhere. Use him while he still has value and try to get something big for him. If you could use Watt somehow in one of your 1,000 trades, by all means, let's get the fuck up that chart. Let's get somebody that's worth more than a 21st pick in the draft for once. Last time we had a number one was Terry Bradshaw. That's kind of how successful the Steelers are. That kind of gives you an idea of how consistent and it's just a successful organization. And a number one draft pick 55 years ago, I think, is enough proof of that. But you know what? Again, the ebbs and the flows. You got to want to get your picks too. Got to want to get the higher talented players, guys, as the league does continue to move in certain directions. JPJ, you got to pay that man. Say what you want. He's Ike Taylor 2.0. He's a shutdown guy. He doesn't let up a lot. Some penalties, but you know what? His penalties even improved. His tackling certainly improved. Pay JPJ. You got to pay JPJ. Again, I wouldn't take anything off the table as far as TJ Watt goes. I think everybody that you're living off their name at this point has to be an option. They have to be an option to move. When players get past their prime, and you're going off of the reputation of their name, that's not a good football move. It's just not a good football move, guys. Again, Cam Hayward, you could get younger and faster and bigger and stronger and more aggressive and smarter, or whatever the case may be. Why wouldn't you want to go younger when you could go younger? Maybe with all these draft picks, we could start doing things like that, guys. Again, because we do have 12 draft picks going into the draft. Do give me a moment to find my spot on the terrible board, guys. I have a lot to say about things that I'm seeing that's passing my face. I'm trying not to stare at the peanut that's on top of Mike's shoulders as much as I can, but I have no choice. But I'm going to try to get back here on the terrible board to right around where we could be. No. Put your face back on there. Come on. There we go. I'm in the right area. Let's see. I think, as a matter of fact, I'm really close to the right area. All right, I think we found it. Here it is. Jeremiah Young, Malik Willis. I don't think. Okay, right here, Lindsay. Take Smith, please. 2-for-1 deal. Take Austin too. TC says I think the only one knew that Mike Tomlin was leaving was Rondé Barber. They were very close. They are very close from back in their Super Bowl day with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Of course, Rondé was in that secondary. Ryan and Mike, you guys need to watch film on Jordan Tyson, the second wide receiver, Arizona. He stepped up. I keep hearing about that name. I keep hearing the name. Steeler Freak. What's up, Big John Stud? Middle name Mud. What's up, brother, man? He says this Tomlin wasn't the biggest problem. Art has to get off the wallet and be willing to eat some crow. Absolutely. That's all part of it, too. Again, there's going to be a lot of changes. It can't just be Tomlin and think that the things are going to get better. A lot of things, you got to continue to move like the rest of the league to keep up with the league. We obviously see what happens when you don't. Pay big staff upgrade the facility and get into analytics and AI. Absolutely. Joe Archie Manning was on the Saints team his whole career and consistently struggled. Low Arch isn't any more special, average at best. Steel Loyal says this. Jordan Tyson is like that for real. Also, Jeremiah Young says, here are my top picks: Chris Scholler, Robert Salah, and Brian Flores. John says the Manning family will decide where their Arch goes. That is already in the works. Loud Harley says Tyson is that good? Must be because Hines Ward coached him. Maybe. We love you, Mike. Tyrone says. Also, Mark says this. Mark Malone says I could still see thunder with a straw in one of those nostrils mowing down a huge rail. I want Tyson is what Tyrone is saying. Jeremiah Young says, what coach would you hire? You know what, Jeremiah, and my philosophy is this. I have to see. Right off the top, I don't know. I have to see what people have, what they got going on, what their record looks like, what their work record looks like, what they've done so far, what their strengths are, and I'm still in that process. I don't know. And I got to see who the Steelers are seriously considering. So at this point, I don't have a clear-cut answer. And maybe that's what differentiates me from all the know-it-alls on the radio, because they're going to tell you who it's going to be. And you know what? It's probably not going to be those people. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to continue to search and do my research and figure out who it is that I think should be the best. And at this point, I don't know. I can just tell you who's coming in at this point, and that's about it. I'm still learning. Steel Loyal says this. I wish Muth could get us that pick. RB says I won't be the least bit sad if they Haywa Boohoo brothers are gone. Oh, the Haywards. Cam is going to ask for more money, and Connor is a walking, breathing, blocking sled. The meat wad, man. You're giving it to the meat wad. Mike in the back says this at MM. In my heyday, but the older ticker handle it more. That's from my guy. Whatever that means, that's my guy. Let's see. John says Mike did a few lines off of goth chicks' asses before the shows. And he did eat a box of nerds out of their butthole. Tyrone says I'd do that trade in a heartbeat. Tyrone also says then get Baylor tight end. Into Joe, Peyton and Eli were the only two to have Super Bowls, but no college championships or Heismans. Again, I like a good bloodline. I just do. Call me crazy. I like Joey Porter. I'm a bloodline guy. A lot of Pittsburgh people are. Big Slim says this. Tyrone, Jordan Tyson is a dog. Somber says, well, it's Muth, the first round swap, next year's third, and this year's fifth. Not gonna lie, I'd do it and draft Justin Hawley, tight end from North Carolina State, or Michael Trigg, tight end from Baylor. Tyrone, Tyson is insane. Still Loyal, that tight end from Oregon is going to be nasty. Sadiq, is that how you pronounce it? Also, Tyrone says, I watched a little bit more on film on him. Somber, boy, you got me excited. Somber says, yes, Sadiq will go top 20. That's must look pretty good. I haven't had a chance to see him. I will check him out. RB says this, yes, Sadiq will go top 20 overall at least. Tyrone, okay, got that. RB, Danny Smith interviewing with Tampa Bay tomorrow. And again, I wish him the best of luck like everybody else. I'm going to continue to make fun of Arthur Smith because, for one, I've never seen an offense like this in my life. Again, what's he going to put 5 right tackles on the offense this year and, maybe not have a center? Who knows with this guy? I'm glad he's not going to be here. That's all I got to say. Loud says Eli Manning is my neighbor. They wanted the kid to play another year in college, and they didn't like the teams at the top of the draft chart, Raiders, Jets, etc., etc., etc. He wasn't going to play for them. No way. Jeremiah Young said, I would be upset if Danny Smith is gone. I mean, I like the guy, but you know what? I like the guy as far as Mike Tomlin goes too. So don't, I don't know. I can't point anything out that I think Danny Smith could have improved on. But again, we do know from the report out yesterday that all of the Steelers coaches are being advised to start looking for other work. They will not be brought back unless hired by the new coach. Big Slim said this. Yeah, he's Pickens type wide receiver. That's what we need. We need another Pickens type wide receiver. Tyrone says, I swear. He says this. Me and Somber did a draft last night. We drafted Tyson and Lane from USC. Said bye-bye, DK. Tortilla says trade Mac Jones and trade for Mac Jones and trade up for Tyson. TC, Ryan, you're right. Look at the quips from Don Frank, Mike, and Steelman. Exactly. It's sometimes you just got a good thing. And the Steelers do have a good thing. And the Patriots have a good thing. And the Yankees have a good thing. And the Dodgers have a good thing. And the Lakers have a good thing. There's just some teams that are going to be okay, and the Steelers are going to be that team. And you're right; those are all amazing coaches and Quip. And again, I love Mike Warfield, but you know what? I think that as we've seen when he took the year off, the team still did well. I think the Steelers fall in that category as well, guys. I think we're a good enough organization to land on our feet. I truly do. Somber said this. We did mock yesterday where we traded up for Tyson, then we traded again and looked for Jacoby Lane out of USC. That would be gross duo. Safe guy. He says this. I do want to say, great seeing you on the terrible board. He says this. Haha, Mount Rushmore, only 3 head coaches. You know what I mean? That must mean things are good. That must mean that your Mount Rushmore is good. The fact that you could only flip 3 guys over the past 60 years, that's a Mount Rushmore, if you ask me. Steel Loyal says, I'd take Jacoby Lane and Mekhi Lemon. To be honest, either one, LOL. Tortilla Jackson, my man, he says, Mac Jones loves to pick number 1 wide receivers. And feed him is coming from Shanahan offense, and hopefully we sign some of the Rams coordinators. It's possible. They're coming today. We got 2 of them today. Today, again, of course, the schedule looks like this. Nate Schilhaus to interview with the Steelers today virtually. It's one of his 5 interviews today. Also, Chris Shula to interview with the Steelers today. Jeff Haffey to interview with the Steelers today. And Jesse Mittner tomorrow is scheduled to virtually interview with the Steelers guys. And as I said, they did reach out to Kubiak. Also, he is now on the list of coaches that we are going to talk to. So it's the wheels are in motion. They're certainly moving in the direction that they need to be. Let me go right here. RB, my man RB says this. If you're looking to go with people from the McVay Shanahan tree, basically the same thing. Kevin KC Concepcion is the best bet at wide receiver. NC State, Texas A&M. My man TC says Quips had 4 coaches and still managed to have no. That's what I'm saying. We're just badass, dude. And now we're becoming even more badass because we're adding the pass element to our team and Quip, because it was always run, which was unstoppable. But now adding to the passing element to Aliquip just makes them even better. Like what's going on there. Always love what's going on with Quip. Tyrone says facts. Loyal Steel says, I like the receiver from Clemson too, Antonio Williams. His stats weren't insane this year because he was hurt, but still a dog. Also, Corey Beavers, don't drink that, says, wasn't Miami's defense bad? I mean, we made them look bad. No thanks. They weren't good, right? I agree. Williams is smooth, says Somber. Also, Tyrone said, that's my biggest problem with Omar, these contract moves. Valid point. Somber said Boston as well. Absolutely. The Red Sox. Matter of fact, any of those Boston teams, they're always consistent. Red Sox are always kind of in the running, and the Bruins, even for that matter, and the Celtics. Come on. There's just good franchises out there. TC says, I think Cam is going to retire. Very possible. It's a possibility. You never know, too. You know, a lot of these guys, now the coach that they loved isn't there. I don't think that's out of the question. Tyrone says this wide receiver class is fire, and that's great because we sure need them. We sure need some wide receivers, guys. Steel Loyal says receiver class is stacked this year. We sure need it. If we can take advantage of that again with our 12 draft picks and a little top heavy, maybe some dead weight, we might be willing to move. Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, I would personally take a receiver in the first round and then one again in the third round.
Right. Hey, you know what?
That's what I would do. Or go corner, wide receiver, wide receiver.
It's not out of the question. Definitely not out of the question. Definitely not out of the question. Let's go right here. Somber says absolutely stacked. I've seen starter talent in the fourth round. It's wild. Still says this. Still loyal. Yep. We got no excuses this time. Tyrone, this offseason is it is. That's why, this is one of the biggest off seasons that I've ever seen in my life. I've been watching the Steelers for 40 years. A little bit more. I've never seen an off season that's going to be quite as important as this one. We will be on top of it all. Let's go. Mark Malone says we got way more last out of more than our money's worth out of Cam the last. Absolutely. Cam played his ass off, and I'll give him that. 2 years ago, I thought he played at the top of his game, probably one of the better years he's ever had. And this year, I thought he was improved, but I don't think he played as well as he played last year. With that being said, I'm not saying that he didn't play well. I seen his ass chasing Derrick Henry down the sideline for a guy that size. Come on, the guy, he was giving it. No two ways about that. Let me jump right here. All right, Steels. Okay, Mark. TC. Look at all the quarterbacks from Western PA that was drafted. Absolutely, bro. It's not even fun. And I don't even think people even realize how much talent comes from Western PA. You're just talking about the Hall of Famers. The names just don't stop. Very, very, very big, of course, here in Western PA, guys. We love our football. So many guys in the NFL. Somber, I don't see either Hayward staying with Mike T gone. That's very possible. I'll hell Derek Harmon. I like that as well. Still, Derek Harmon is one of my favorite Steelers. He truly is. I think he's going to be a beast as things do continue to move forward. Steele says we might not be a good football team, but we beat the Ravens. Damn right we did. 10 out of 12 times. Do what you want with that.
Belt to ass. Belt to ass.
Swept. After they just beat us 2 times last year, once in the regular season and once in the playoffs, we came back and swept them. We swept their franchise, their MVP quarterback. I think Snoop Huntley beats us. I think it was their mistake by starting Lamar that last time. He was still hurt. His back is effed up. But you know what? They wanted to put their best foot forward, and they thought that was it. Let's move on. Lindsay says, we did sweep the Ravens. Also, Steel Loyal says, damn right, still smoking from that Ravens pack. Somber says, most of them were forced to start and still did decent. Ty says, Cam and Isaac might be done. Daywalker, he says, next 5 years, pick going to be bad. No. I don't think they will. There's nothing to prove. There's no evidence to provide that backs that statement up. Look at the team historically. Chuck Noll left. Chuck Noll left with a losing record. Cowher came in the following year with a winning record. Bill Cowher left with an 8-8 record. Coach T came in with a winning record. There's no indication that there's going to be a huge fall off for the Steelers. I'm just saying they have to handle the situations that's in front of them correctly. They have to. And if they don't, possibly then there might be issues. But it's not an automatic drop off for the Steelers. They're a good organization. And again, the Patriots, they were just a coach and a receiver, a quarterback away. Look at them. They went from being one of the best. They fell to the bottom. 2 to 4 wins, and then right now they're the number 2 seed playing this weekend. They are actually hosting the Houston Texans on Sunday. So I don't see a huge drop off. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, and this team has not been left in bad shape. You're taking over a team that won 10-7, won the division. You're right. Seeing a offensive line that's getting better and better. If you can bring back Gainwell, you got a pretty good running back combo. You got players on the defensive side, especially Y.A. Black, Derek Harmon, that are stepping up, becoming better. You're seeing Peyton Wilson, Nick Herbig, Jack Sawyer, Joey Porter Jr. So there's good players on this team. This team, Omar Khan's been rebuilding this team, him and Weedle, since what after Kevin Colbert left. It's only been 3 years, and this team hasn't taken a step back. They've stayed flat. They're starting to see position groups up on the upswing. You just keep rebuilding through the draft. They did the lines. Now you go after your skill position players on offense and defense, and then if you hit on those picks, you can spend. You don't have to spread out money in free agency. You can target topper end guys that are younger and bring them in instead of a bunch of older vets. Now, this team has been building and building for a couple years now, so they're not that far off. This should be a desirable position, and there should not be a sharp drop off from this team performance wise or record wise, at least.
And I noticed a lot of Cowboys fans, they'll stop in. One thing about Dallas, that's the only team in the NFC that hasn't reached the NFC game since 1990, early 1996, 30 years. So all your Ravens and Cowboys and Browns fans, they're going to talk their shit, but guys, believe me, you have it better than they do. Cowboys hasn't been to an AFC championship game in 30 years. The Ravens, we beat 10 of the last 12 times, and we're a bad team. These are the fans that continue to call us a bad team. Again, so just keep that in mind. Consider the sources. Let's move on the terrible board here. Again, you guys are killing it. You guys are killing it on the terrible board. We thank you so much for everybody this afternoon. Thank you so much. I'm going to go right here to Steel Loyal says this Harmon and Black both were massive hits. Absolutely. And they're going to, and we needed that. We needed those two interior linemen on defense to hit, and they did. I'm very satisfied with Derek Harmon and Y.A. Black. I love Y.A. Black. He's just he's going to be one of them fun personalities for the team for a long time. And again, maybe some of these picks we could have on their second contract when we finally get there, but we don't know. Mike, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like Y.A. Black. I don't know if he's ever going to be a starter, but my God, is he going to be a great rotational piece on this team? He's going to be fun to watch, man.
I wouldn't. I don't know why he wouldn't ever be a starter.
I hope he can be a starter. Him and Harmon on a D line together. Get the fuck out of here.
You figure we started. What's her face has been there for a minute. Benton. And we kept giving him chance after chance after chance. There's no doubt in my mind that Y.A. Black will get his opportunity. I can't wait for it to come. TC says this Giants are going to stop Dallas from getting to the Super Bowl with their MVP quarterback. Again, the only team in the NFC that hasn't been to the NFC Championship game since January 1996. Tyrone. Now, Cam on last year deal won't be bad if he comes back. Not going to lie. Steel Loyal says Jack Sawyer was a good pick too. You know what? He grew on me at the end. I didn't love Jack Sawyer at the beginning. I knew that he did great in the championship last year with Ohio State, but again, he kind of grew on me like fungus at the end, and that's just kind of how that played out. So I'm going to continue to keep my eye on him. Tortilla says, we drafted Will Howard. Very interesting. What is the move going to be? What's the move going to be? What's the move? It's big questions, big offseason. Will Howard draft 12 picks, dead weight, new coaches. Guys, this is going to be possibly the biggest offseason in your life as far as Pittsburgh Steelers goes, guys. Certainly in recent history for sure. Steel Oil says this facts Tortilla. We literally drafted the GOAT with the F. Daywalker says without Tomlin coaching those dudes up, the roster is going to flop. Also says nobody never leaves Pittsburgh. And is great. I don't disagree with you on that. For the most part, Jeremiah Young says it was time for the Steelers to move on. I agree with you 100%. And it's nothing against nothing, but nobody, or nothing against nobody, nothing. The fact of the matter is, we have less playoff wins in Pittsburgh in the last 15 years than Nick Chubb, who has 2 playoff wins here. That's your sign. Let's move on. Big Slim 20 says this. We own Lamar and the Rabbit. We do. I don't. That's why I said all season we got rid of them from Gibbs. Do not ever fear Baltimore. They are you. They built their team like you. They built their organization like you. Don't be afraid of them. We know us better than anybody else. And guess what? We won 10 of the last 12 against a team that was built just like us to win this division. TC says Will Howard is not a bad quarterback. He might. I think I hope you're right. I don't know. And the thing is, yes, he did win a national championship. I wasn't an Ohio State guy, so I didn't pay much attention. But I guess that's good. He won his championship. But the fact that we haven't had a chance to see him take even a snap, not even in the preseason, of course, breaking his hand in the preseason, being unavailable for most of the regular season, and then later in the year when he was available, of course, didn't get any playing time heading into the playoffs. So, you know what? I mean, we're going to have to take a look at him, right? But I just don't know. There's a lot that's going to happen this offseason, guys. Dave Walker says, move on to be a bad team. Go ahead, Mike.
I think whoever they get as offensive coordinator or head coach, depending if they go with the offensive coach, it's going to be, if they do get one of these guys from like the McVay coaching tree, I think Will Howard's going to get a huge look at quarterback.
More than likely.
I just feel like their system, it might fit best for him.
And
he will get a huge opportunity.
I mean, you have all the mandatory. I mean, you have the early camps. I mean, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to get a look at him. But again, I think preseason is going to be the first real chance. Again, not being able to take snaps last year in the preseason for Will Howard was big. I think it's big because, again, you didn't even get a chance to look at the kid. And he's a possibility he could be our quarterback moving forward. So I wasn't a big fan of how that played out. We'll certainly keep our eyes closely on that situation as we try to figure out what's going on. Steele says Day Walker coughs. George Pickens. Also, Lindsay says that's false. Day Walker. Tyrone says loyal Sawyer, Ohio State boy. That was what a steal in the 4th round, he's saying. Day Walker says book's still out, and I meant it in general. Also, Tortilla, I won't drink again until Mike Tomlin wins a playoff game. There you go, Tortilla. Day Walker says the best players left on the field, left and flop generally. Somber says dude acts like Tomlin is the only coach to coach good players. TC says George Pickens was another diva. He would have been just like AJ Brown, and you love to have the guy's abilities. I love JP's abilities. GP. I love Brown, but you're right. There's just you remember when DK punched at a guy, and it cost him 2 games, and it could have very well costed us the playoff spot. That's what we were trying to avoid by getting rid of GP, and it did backfired because, again, there was the incident with DK, and it ended up playing out that way anyway. So, again, that those things there, you need your best guys to be available when you need them, and he wasn't. He wasn't the playoffs. He dropped the big catch that could have. But anyway, besides the point, we're going to be looking at receivers this year in the draft. That is no surprise there. Right here. Somber says completely lost. Daywalker says you named one, and I can name many left and regressed. Also, Steel Loyal says that Daywalker because they want to be a Steeler. It's not the same for another team. There is a certain environment that comes with being a Steeler. No 2 ways about that. Lindsay says if the Steelers can't win without Tomlin, then why didn't we win with him? Interesting take. Tyrone says Lindsay no back ball. She sure does. Daywalker says they did win. Are you joking? It's the NFL. Steel Loyal, we won. Where? Daywalker says, and they can win without Tomlin. I don't see why they can't. Again, you get somebody that could move with the game a little bit more. I think that gives us a better opportunity. Again, not bad mouthing Coach T at all. I'm just saying it's just kind of something with Ben. He was a Hall of Fame quarterback, but you know what? He wasn't the same Ben at the end of his career that he was during his prime, was he? We could have kept him around for another 5 years if we wanted to. The fact of the matter is everything has a time. If we want to get better, there's moves you got to make, and you had to move on from Ben. Unfortunately, we didn't have anything in place to make that become a better situation, but that's just where I'm at with Coach T as well. That era is gone, guys. Our Bens are gone. Our Coach T is gone. Our Troy Polamalu is gone. It's time for the new Steeler era, and you know what? It's going to be here. It's coming no matter what. So, guys, I just say that we get in and accept and learn and figure out what the hell is going to happen next, and we'll be ready to move forward with the team, guys. Let's stay on the board here, or we still got some time here on the show, but I don't think they will in the next 5 years. I think they'll be okay. I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, if they win a playoff game in the next 2 years, I wouldn't be surprised. New energy from new head coaches is so underrated. It truly is. Go to, and if you doubt me, and that's fine, look at every team. in the playoffs. They all have new or relatively newer coaches giving a new energy. And they turned everything around. And Ben Johnson turned the Bears around, who always stink. And look at the Bears. And Seattle and Houston, D'Amico Ryans and Mike Vrabel. You get new energy as a head coach. That goes a long way. Pittsburgh Penguins win a Stanley Cup every time, with the exception of the coach we have now. With every new head coach they won a championship with from 1991. I think there was a couple in the middle that they didn't, but every time that they got a new coach, they did win Stanley Cup championships. There's an energy that comes with the new system. There's again, you can be a part of this. You can be a big part of this. And again, new coaches goes a long way. Again, look at your playoff tree right now. See how many of these guys are new or relatively new to their team that's generally bad. Again, the Bears. New England certainly fell after the drop of their big two. Houston, they're making some leeway. Denver, come on. Sometimes you just need some new blood. You just need some new blood, and it goes a long way. You see it a lot in sports. Let's check out a few more here. Still says this. He says, "I'll take 5 years of bad records if that means we're building towards success. Look at the pay." Exactly. If you don't look at this, if you don't look at what the Patriots have done, I don't think you're doing your due process here and trying to understand the bigger picture. They had 0 Super Bowls. They then tied us at 6, and then fell off, and then rebuilt, and is now back at the number 2 seed playing this weekend with the chance to go to the AFC Championship game, all in the time that, we just went through everything that we just went through. Steelers says this. Lindsay says 5 years is crazy. Steeler Freak says art is cheap to cost them. It wasn't all in Tallman. Art has to do complete with absolutely. The owner, everybody. You're right. That's what a team is, right? Right, John? 10 and 20, tortilla. Let's see, Somber just throwing out some general opinions now. Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. Let's see, Daywalker, book's still out on the Pats. Dude could be a one-season wonder. Well, even if he is, isn't it a better season than anything we've had in the past 15 years? I'll take it. My God, how much more losing in January can we take? The fact that we lost 7 in a row by a margin at some point during those 7 games, 21 points is literally the worst performance in his record in the NFL, never duplicated by anybody else. The Steelers lost their last 7, and they were down at some point in each one of those 7 games by 21. If we have a one-hit wonder that gets us a couple wins in the playoffs, by all means, let's do it. Still loyal. The Pats won a playoff game. That's our first guy. They right? They've already won a playoff game. We haven't done that in 15 years, 10 years. The Dolphins, whatever the hell that was. Again, I'll take it at this point. How much longer do you want to kick the can down the road just to be able to say you have your guy? It's retarded. It's truly retarded. That's retarded. It's not about football at that point, and that's why I'm in this, is because of football. So let's stick to the terrible board. JPJ Tyrone says, "Still loyal," says Pat's made it further than we'd have in 10 years. Hey, you're right. By going by the new process, the new system, the new way, the league. And we haven't done any of those things. Tyrone says best DB in the league. Jeremiah says, man, it's going to be interesting to see how many draft picks the Steelers will have. It can be more than 12. Daywalker says, yes, I agree a little. I thought Tallman should be fired if he had roster control, and I thought he should quit if he didn't. He wasn't going to get fired. It went the exact way that it was going to go. And anybody that thought it was going to go any different, I don't know if you're being realistic with yourself. Tomlin is loved within the organization. Yes, fans got upset with him, but it wasn't because of the man. It was because of his work, and he wasn't getting the job done. And as I said yesterday, if your furnace works all year, but it doesn't work in January when you need it most, do you fix it? You get it changed? You get a new one? Or do you continue to go year after 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 year with working during all the time except for when it's showtime. Of course you wouldn't. You'd go out and you get yourself a new furnace ASAP. We gave up ample opportunity to the last system that we had. Unfortunately, it went the way that it did, and it's time to move on. And that's where we're at, guys. And that's why we're here and getting ready for the next move. Of course, it's going to be a big one for the Steelers, whatever the case may be. Whatever the move is, it'll certainly be big. Jeremiah says, who's best quarterback? Tyrone. Dream, I do want to say what's up and welcome to Dream 313 on a terrible board. Always great seeing new faces and names. Dream says this: sign Malik Willis to a 1 to 2 year deal. Let the quarterback room compete. Malik Willis looked like a franchise quarterback this year when he filled in for Jordan Love. I want to see a bigger. I need to see a little bit bigger dose of Malik Willis. I got to be honest with you. I was impressed with him early. And then he fell off, and then he got better, and then he did good in these last couple games of the year last year for them when he had to fill in for Jordan. I agree. I need to see a little bit more Malik Willis first, though, before I make that call. Dave Walker says the quarterback decision by the GM was horrible. Absolutely. Nobody's going to argue that. RB says you aren't getting something valuable for TJ. If you get a late second round from Philly or Buffalo or Chicago, we would be lucky. That contract after 2026 is back-breaking for now a 30-plus situational pass rusher. I'm going to scoot up a little bit. These guys are killing on the board today. I do appreciate it, guys. I try to get every single message. Sometimes it just isn't possible, but I'm going to scoot up the board a little bit. So if I miss on any of your messages that you have between now and when I'm scooting to, I do apologize, guys, as the show is starting to round third here. And I'm just going to try to, I want to get fresh here a little bit before we do get to the end of the show. Let's check out right here. My man Jamal, he says this, when in doubt, just shout gang, gang. That's right, baby. Gang, gang, all day. I'm gonna go right here. Aaron J, my man, what's up? He says, "Here we go, Steelers." One of my favorite comments every day with the Rockets. I love it. Day Walker, got to get back to welding. Have a great day, my man. Thank you for stopping by, Day. We hope to see you in the future. And moving forward, guys, we are here 5 days a week, every week. Steel says that Jamal better bring the steel chairs. Jamal, get the steel Jamal, get the tables. Of course, a WWE reference. TC says Lamar will never win a Super Bowl. And you know what? He missed his window, unfortunately. For me, early Lamar is the quarterback. When he was running that offense where he had, I forget who the two guys were, but there was people just constantly moving in different directions, and you didn't know till after Lamar was 13 yards down the field who actually had the ball. That was when I thought that they had the biggest chance. Was that 5 years ago, give or take? But you're right now. I think that window's closing on him. I think that he's just become older. I just think that he's not as mobile. The guy can still run. Don't give me that. That he can't, but you know what? He's not the same as he was early on. I think Lamar's window might have closed, but you never know. You never know. We will see. Tyrone says, miss Mike T, but you will see good change. I agree. I couldn't agree more. Your boy says this. RV says this. If you get a Jamal, I get Lindsay or Jen. I ain't rolling around on the ground with you dudes here. I don't know where that stemmed from, but you know what? I'm sure it's pretty funny, and I will see it later. Still says, I just want to win a single playoff game. Is that too much to ask? Just one. I have to get excited for the next round and the next team that you play, you know? I miss that shit. Yes, absolutely. F the media. I agree. I couldn't agree with you more, Jamal. Tyrone, I've been a coach 20 years, but let me move up a little bit here. Again, I'm trying to look for a name or two that maybe I haven't caught yet, because I do apologize if I don't catch you guys. You guys are awesome and kicking ass, and I encourage you to continue to message. I try my best to keep up with every single message. But you know what I'm going to do? As it is about almost 2 hours into the show, we are going to get these picks in. Mike, are you ready to get some picks in? We only have 6 picks today, 6 games.
Yeah, I'm always ready to get something in, but let's do it.
All right, here we go. The winter's catching up to me. All of a sudden, my nose has started running. Are
you getting into my booger sugar?
That's what I was going to say. Maybe it's from your booger sugar. There you go. All right, guys. So here we go. This is the games this weekend. Tomorrow, starting at 4:30, game 1 of the divisional round. The Bills at Denver. The Buffalo Bills at the Denver Broncos, 4:30 tomorrow, Mike. Number 1 seed Denver finally playing in the playoffs here after having the bye last week. Buffalo at Denver. Mike, I take Buffalo in this game. I'm taking Buffalo in this game. That's my pick. Who do you like?
I'm taking Buffalo too, but I think this is going to be a close game. I like Denver's defense a whole hell of a lot. Because if they can shut down the run, they don't have many weapons.
Hey, you're right.
To throw to. Like I like Khalil Shakir. I like him as a slot receiver. I like their tight end, but their top receivers don't scare me. Josh Allen scares me. Their running back James Cook scares me. But if you can take away Cook, it's going to be all on Josh Allen, and he has the talent to do it. But we've seen earlier this year, if you can stop the run game against them, and they're a very beatable team. But I think this is the year Josh Allen gets over the hump and makes it to a Super Bowl. So I'm going to go with Buffalo.
All right, let me jump in on this. Steele says, we do not expect you to read all that. It's all good. I just do my best. I just do my best because I like to, again, I really value the terrible board and everybody that does participate as the voice of Steeler Nation. You guys, I want your voice to be heard everywhere, every day, because again, you deserve it. You are the ones that make it happen, guys. Let's move on. Let me grab a couple of these messages because I did see TC says Buffalo will win. Richard, what's up, Richard? Always great seeing Richard on the terrible board. He says Buffalo will win. Tyrone likes tough Buffalo. Georgianne, I do want to say welcome to Georgianne on the terrible board. Great to see you. New face, new name. Always great to see new people. She says Buffalo, but a tough game. That I couldn't agree with more. I think it's going to be, I think all these games are going to be tough this weekend, as almost every game was in the first weekend. I think that's going to continue this week because, again, it's good for the NFL, and what's good for the NFL, that's just how it goes sometimes. But I say Buffalo as well in a tough game. It could, maybe something at the end of the game, a field goal to win, whatnot. Field to Steal, he's saying Denver for this game. Miss Pittsburgh, she's saying Buffalo. Steele says this. Steele Loyal says this. I can't bet against Josh Steinfeld. I like that one. That is a good comment. Possibly a game ball in that one. Josh is dangerous. I agree, TC. TC, the thing about Josh, I mean, you could just tune in and find out, oh, Josh Allen just had 5 touchdowns, 3 through the air, 2 on the ground. So again, there's just, without the Mahomeses and guys like this year, he's getting his bench chance. And I'm talking about when Tom Brady missed the playoffs and was injured, and Ben was able to take advantage and win. This is the kind of advantage I think that that Allen has now with your Mahomes out and team, and guys like this, of course. Lamar, usually considered an MVP, guys like that. So I kind of, this is where I'm going with that. I think this is going to be his Ben year. I think he's going to be very successful because of the way things fell this year. Let me see also, got to be all over Allen. Bo Nix is still green from TC. I don't trust either team. Bo Nix can't read defenses. That's what I'm saying. I just don't like Bo Nix. In this particular matchup, I like Allen over Bo Nix. Great defense in Denver. High altitude in Denver. At the end of the day, I have a feeling, me personally, it just feels like one of them Ben years for me, and I think he's going to be successful because of the lack of Mahomes in the playoffs this year. That's just my opinion, guys. Let's move on to the next game. Like the late game tomorrow, the 8 o'clock start is between San Francisco and Seattle. I like Seattle in this game. In Seattle, these two teams went at it in week 17. And Seattle wins this game 13-3 in San Francisco. I'm sticking with Seattle, Mike. For my pick, San Francisco at Seattle tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Who do you like?
I'm leaning towards Seattle as well. What San Francisco has done this year with all the injuries that they've overcome has been remarkable. It's been a hell of a coaching job down there and a hell of a rallying by the troops down there. But Seattle,
defense,
I think
Seattle, the home field, the 12th man
is nasty. I know Sam Darnold showed up. Sam Darnold showed up with an oblique injury, but I think he plays through it. I think they eke this one out. I think this one's going to be really, really close. I'm not sold on Sam Darnold in the playoffs. He kind of prove it to me. I need
still
to see
early in his playoff career. I mean,
but I think the rest of the team.
We're going to see. We're going to learn a lot about Sam Darnold, I think, in this particular game.
We're going to find out a lot because he didn't look really good last year in his one playoff
Neither
game.
did the rest of his team.
See,
but I agree. I agree. Let's see what he does. Again, the only quarterback to win back-to-back 14 seasons next to Tom Brady. So, again, I take Seattle in this one. You are sticking with Seattle then, Mike?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think it's gonna be like a 3-point game or something like that.
All right, let me see on the board. Let me get a couple. Let's see right here. I'm seeing some Seattle's. I really wish I could fix this. See, I don't even know where we're at with the way this board moves. It makes me mental. Okay, I'm gonna go right here. Steel Loyal says Seattle, that defense is too nasty. Mitch Pittsburgh says Seattle will win. Also, TC says I think the 49ers will win. Phil the Steel says Seattle. Tortilla says if Denver wins, he's going to hold his breath until the draft. Georgian says San Francisco. Kenneth Walker about to run for 100 plus. TC says 49ers beat Philly and they were loaded. You know what? Philly's loaded. I don't know why. They should be a little better. I don't know. There's just something about that team. They kind of under and believe me, they're in Super Bowls and shit like that, so they're not underachieving. But I would like to see a little bit more from that team, as stacked as they are. Let's see. Tyrone says 49ers, and football math isn't real any given Sunday. Most of the time, you're right, especially in the day of sports entertainment that we're in now. It is not sports anymore. It's sports entertainment. So do what you want with that. All right, guys, let's get to the Sunday games. Sunday. Mike, 3:00, the first game on Sunday, the early game. The Houston Texans are traveling to New England. They're traveling to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. Mike, the number 2 seed. New England hosting the Houston Texans, who have the number 1 offense in the entire league. This should be a good game. However, as the AFC game that we spoke of earlier, the Bills in Denver, I think this is a close one. But at the end, I think New England pulls out the win at home tomorrow. Mike, Houston at New England.
I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with Houston. That defense is nasty. Okay. I think New England is 1-5 against playoff teams this year.
Okay. How was Houston against one?
Even though Stroud,
how was Houston?
Stroud hasn't looked that good.
How was Houston against playoff teams?
1-0 so far.
This season?
I can't remember the record.
Oh, okay. I just thought you had. I thought you had.
Yeah, I was being a little facetious. I was being
I
facetious.
thought you had numbers for. Stop. I thought you had numbers for both teams. That's the only reason I asked. But go ahead.
No, I just had. Yeah, no, I just knew off New England off the top of my head. But I'm going to go with Texans, man. If that defense plays the way they did against us.
I don't think they had a great record against playoff teams, but you could check me on that. I'm talking about the Texans. So I think it's going to be a good one. There's no doubt that defense is number 1. It's number 1 in the league, guys. So it should be a good game. I'm taking New England. Mike is taking Houston in this one. Let me see some picks on the board right here. Steel Loyal says pulling for the Texans, but I think the Patriots take it. Listen, ultimately, I would like to see the Texans win too. I don't want to see the Patriots win. I don't want to see them go back to no friggin' Super Bowl. Tyrone says Texans. TC says the Patriots will win. Phil says Houston. Georgian says the Texans. Somber says the Patriots. Lindsay, Patriots. Big Slim. I think Fred Warner may be back this week. That's huge. TC says going to be much colder in New England than it was in Pittsburgh. Absolutely. We had a warm night. I could attest to that being down at the tailgate on Monday night. It was relatively warm. As you can see from the picture, I don't know if you've seen it on the social media, I was overdressed. Mike had bald head out. The other guy in the picture had his jacket wide open. I was bundled up like that kid on the Christmas Story. And it was certainly a lot warmer than I was anticipating on Monday night. Somber says Warner's rolled out. Steel Loyal says, nah, Fred Warner was rolled out yesterday. Steeler Freak says, when the Steelers lost Monday, I knew the NFL was rigged. Tortilla says, I'm rooting for the Texans to win it all. I have no problem with the Texans. I would have no problem with them winning. One of these teams that's never won before, that's ultimately something that doesn't affect us in the way that a San Francisco Super Bowl win would, tying us, or New England passing us. So ultimately, to see a Houston Super Bowl victory would be fantastic, in my opinion. Georgian says, I was at the game. Did you freeze? I got to be honest. Like I have a picture over on our social media, and everybody in the picture looked happy, except for me. I had 4 sweatshirts on. I had my jersey on. I had all my hoods up. Again, I looked like that kid from the Christmas Story, but maybe that's why I wasn't so cold. But again, the guys I was with, Mike wasn't cold. He had his bald head out for everywhere for all to see, and I just Georgianne was cold there. Tyrone says, I don't care who wins it, ain't black and yellow. I agree. Ultimately, I agree. But again, I would just like to see a team that doesn't affect us in that sense where they would pass us. So I miss when we were Super Bowl contenders, Ty. Me too, bro. Miss that shit, man. That's what I'm saying. That's why things had to change. That's why things had to change. That's why that's why things had to change. You know what, Georgia? Maybe that was the answer, because I did a little bit of that myself up there, and I felt fine. But Georgianne said that she did take her bourbon to keep her warm. I love it. Steele says, "Don't lick the pole." Yeah, for sure. Because it does sound weird, but yes, I obviously know what you're referring to with the Christmas story. I'm not going to be licking any poles anytime soon, I promise you. TC says this Stroud can't read defenses too. I know, I know. And the guy's a talent. Don't get me wrong, he has a nice arm. I just, again, I know. Steeler Freak says, or next time I will let you borrow my Amish heater. All right, I'll take it. I'll take the Amish heater. LOL, Jamal. Guys, it's that time. It's time to get to the trivia of the day. You know what? We haven't even got through our picks yet, Mike. So let's get to the last game on Sunday. This is a 6:30 start. The Rams at the Bears. The Rams at the Bears. I'm taking the Rams in this one. Still loyal. I couldn't agree with you more, Mike. I'm taking the Rams in this. Rams at the Bears. I just think that ultimately they are a more seasoned team. I'm not saying that the Bears aren't going to be better. I think they're going to win a lot of games moving forward. I think they have a nice quarterback. I think they have a good coaching system now. They have pieces in place that they didn't have for a long time. The Bears are going to continue to be a pretty decent team out of that NFC North. But overall, I think the Rams are just a better seasoned team for the playoffs. Again, Matt Stafford and company winning the Super Bowl just a few years back. They have things going for them that I think just edges past the Bears in this game. I take the Rams. Mike, who do you like in this game?
I agree 100% of what you just said, because I was going to say the exact same thing. They are the season team. They've been there. The Bears are the team on the come up. But I'm going to go with the Bears because I want the Bears to win, because I want the Rams out of the playoffs. So if we want to hire these coaches, we are free and clear to hire them.
Interesting.
So everyone needs to root for the Bears. If you want Shula or Schallhaus, you got to root for the Bears.
Well,
just throwing it out there.
Also, let's take a look.
You got to figure out what is best for the Steelers.
I mean, what's the difference if we get them today or next week? It's, in my opinion, if you get the guy, you get the guy.
Hey man, that's extra time they're in the building. Extra time they're there. More days.
We got a long off season, but I mean, I see what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree with it. I like the Rams in this one. Tyrone saying the Rams, still loyal, saying the Rams. Phil is still also going the Rams, still loyal, saying I like Caleb Williams a lot. Me too, but it's just not his year yet. I agree. He's going to win. I really bought into him, guys, this year more than I had in the past. I like what I've seen from Caleb. Certainly last week in the playoffs, coming back from being down big, against Green Bay. I like them guys, just not this year. I like the Rams in this game. Georgianne, she agrees. She says Rams in a close game. Big Slim says Rams over the Bears. Yes, sir. I like Mike's thinking. Still says Miss Pittsburgh thinks Chicago. Phil still says AFC game Denver versus Houston. NFC Championship game Seattle versus LA. That's a possibility. Steele says this. We're just impatient, and it's all good. It's all good, man. That's kind of what I was thinking as I was trying to get that out of Mike, what he was going at there. But I think that's what it is. TC says Rams will win. Williams will have some turnovers. Again, I give it time. Caleb's going to get his wins in this league. I just think, again, this Rams team, they're more built to make this run right now than the Bears are. Not taking anything away from this Bears team, but again, this is kind of new territory for the Bears. It's they're dipping their toe in the water with this thing, and they have to figure out what it is that they got to do to keep continuing to move forward in the right direction. TC says Caleb needs to get rid of his fingernail polish. Steeler Freak says Mrs. Rooney said the criteria is the head coach must have a 12-inch wiener. Ryan need not have absolutely. Come on, if that criteria, I'm not even good enough to be the water boy. Come on. And so, Mike, you are going the Bears in this one. Let's get to the Monday Night National Championship game. Of course, not our pros, not the NFL playoffs. Nonetheless, not less interesting and big. And exciting. Mike, Miami, number 10 in the playoffs against number 1 Indiana, who's just basically annihilating everything they touch. This game is a 7:30 start. I think it's an 8 o'clock start on Monday. 7:30 is the coverage. Guys, number 10, Miami in the playoffs. Number 1, Indiana in the playoffs. Which one of those two teams do you see us talking about as national champions on Tuesday morning, Mike?
I would love to see Miami win just so to see how much cocaine Michael Irvin will do. It's just a selfish reason. I want to go party with that guy,
Right.
you know. I think Indiana's going to win. It all depends on which Miami team shows
I agree.
up. If it's the team that showed up against Ohio State in that first half, just dominating on defense, I think it's going to be a close game. But if it's the Miami that we saw for a decent amount of that regular season, I think Indiana takes this one walking away. I think it's going to be an entertaining game either way.
I think Indiana wins. I want Miami to win. I'm an ACC guy. I hate Miami. However, I'm a Pitt guy, and
I know, right? Well, Indiana is my new team.
Yeah, it's
So
your
let's
it's
go
your
Indiana. I forgot they're my new
it's your
team.
makeshift Big Ten, whatever the hell is going on over there in the Big Ten. They got all these new teams. I guess we do too, so I can't really talk shit. But guys,
That's my new favorite team, man.
Mike, so you're saying Indiana wins this football game. I say Miami's too undisciplined to win this football game. Indiana's just too good. The mistakes cannot be made by Miami in this particular game. I think they're susceptible, where Indiana, I think, is just a lot more solid and primed to win the championship. I say that Indiana wins this one on Monday. Let me grab a little bit off what's going on the board because I have seen some different opinions here as well. Steele says this. You go back to the Steel Loyal. He says Caleb's going to have Ben Johnson wearing nail polish before he stops wearing it. Also, Tyrone, he likes Indiana. Still Loyal as an ACC guy. I got to go for Miami, but I don't like my choice. That's where I'm at, Still. That's exactly where I'm at. Still Loyal. TC says Miami has too many divas. That's going to be their problem. That's going to be their downfall. I agree. I think Indiana wins this one, guys. IU quarterback to Firefield. Steele says I couldn't agree more. That is my pick, guys. I'm going Indiana in this game. As much as I don't, and I have no problem with Indiana. I mean, good for them. If they win it, they don't ever win it. I do like seeing new teams get in there every now and then. So I'm not against them winning. However, I would rather the team that comes from the conference that my team plays in win. But again, that's just, that. Being said, I think Indiana wins. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
The Dum.Yinzers.com. Got the dumb thoughts over there, the merch over there. Check it out. The Dum.Yinzers.com.
All right, everybody, go check it out. www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. Lots of cool things over there. Mike does a lot of work over there. He gets his dumb thoughts up. He also has the contact information, links to all of our shows, and even the Fist logo, our brand logo, guys. A lot of cool merchandise over there with the logo on it. Go check it out at www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. Exactly, still Loyal saying exactly, representing the ACC. And as much as I hate Miami, I don't like them. I never did, but you gotta support the team. Time to get into it, guys. It's time for the trivia question. Time of day. There's, of course, is nobody that we're playing, so there's not going to be any trivia on any other teams, anything like that, guys. It's going to be all Pittsburgh Steelers for quite some time, and it's going to be a lot of coaching trivia questions as time does go on as well, guys. Today is going to be a trivia question about Pittsburgh's coaches once again, as we did yesterday. Put on your thinking caps, everybody on the board. Mike, here we go. Everybody at home. Here's the question of the day. Mike Tomlin is from Hampton, Virginia. Bill Cowher is from Crafton, Pittsburgh, 40 minutes from me. Where is the other one of the big three originally from? Crafton, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Bill Cowher. Hampton, Virginia, Mike Tomlin. Where is Chuck Noll originally from, guys? Our big three. We know one's from Virginia, one's from Pittsburgh. If anybody knows or has any guesses on where Chuck Noll is from originally, throw it up on the board. Don't Google it. See what you know. Throw up some guesses and see what we got, guys. Again, where is Chuck Noll originally from? Of course, Bill Cowher from right here. Coach T from Virginia, not far from here. But the question of the day is, where is Chuck Noll originally from? Tortilla says China. Tyrone is saying Cleveland. TC also saying Cleveland. Guys, throw your Georgian again. Cleveland. That's looking like a popular answer. Throw your guesses up, guys. If you know, parts unknown. USA by Field of Steel. My man. Also, see, John says this. Let's see if the Steeler family is willing to do some soul searching and go all in and not accepting just making money. Lindsay says China. Throw your answers up there if you think that you know it, or whatever you want to put up there. Again, Mike Tomlin from Hampton, Virginia, originally. Bill Cowher from Crafton, right here in Pittsburgh, originally. And finally, Chuck Noll is from where? Originally, our three big coaches, guys. As we look for the fourth in a long period of time, guys, we do it better than anybody else. Iraq, Somalia, China. Take a couple more moments to think on that. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30, 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day right here on the tube.
On tube.
You know what? I missed that. See? Georgian, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for Georgian on that donation to the show. It's going to go right back into the show. You will see the fruit of it right here if you keep tuning in. Thank you so much, Georgian. Toledo, Iowa. Ohio is what I'm trying to say. Toledo, Ohio. Is Big Slim's game.
Are you stroking out?
I think I might be. Toledo,
Jesus
Ohio.
Christ.
Why does that not roll off my tongue so easy? Toledo,
Ohio. It's not that hard.
It is hard. It's a lot of O at the end. Toledo, Ohio. Well, you're from Ohio, so I don't expect you to have any problem with it. But anyway, that being said, Big Slim says Toledo, Ohio. Tortilla says number Chuck Noll. Field of Steel. Here we go. Steelers. Chuck Noll. Guys. Yeah, I don't know, Big. I don't know what the hell happened to me on that. Toledo, Ohio. Guys, question of the day is this. Coach T is from Hampton, Virginia originally. Coach C is from Crafton, right here in Pittsburgh. And Coach N, if you will, Coach Chuck Noll. Any questions on or any guesses on where he is from, guys? No, not Chuck Norris. Still. The answer to this question, of course, is Chuck Noll is originally from Cleveland, Ohio. Could have, come on. I don't know what the hell to.
Like the only good thing to come out of Cleveland.
Only good thing to come out of Cleveland. I think LeBron's actually from Crafton, or not Crafton. I tell you what, I'm Canton.
The answer's right on the board.
Akron? No, LeBron's from Akron.
Akron. Oh yeah, you're right. It was Akron. Yeah.
Me. Answer's right on the board. Jackass.
Oh, shut up.
LeBron is from Akron. Yes, he's from Akron, Ohio. I've been to Akron quite a few times. Matter of fact, I went to see some stand-up comedy there. It's a nice little town. Nice little town for sure up in Akron, Ohio. Yes, still loyal. You are correct. LeBron is from Akron, Ohio. Yes, absolutely, guys. That is correct. Chuck Noll is from Chuck Norris by default. LeBron is from Acrisure. Everybody getting silly as we are beginning to wrap it up today, guys. We'll be back first thing on Monday to do it all over again, to get into all these divisional playoff games that we have coming up again tomorrow. The 4:30 game, the Buffalo Bills at Denver Broncos. The late game, San Francisco 49ers at Seattle. On Sunday, the early game, the 3 o'clock start, is Houston at New England. Sunday's late game, the Rams at the Bears. That's a 6:30 start. And, of course, Monday, we will see before then, that is going to be the national championship game between Miami and Indiana. So we'll talk about that just a little bit more on Monday. We'll see how everybody did on the NFL picks as we do come in on Monday as well. But we will be back at our regular time on Monday to do it all over again. I can't wait to talk about all these games, much more, and so many different things that can certainly happen for our Steelers, guys, in this. It's a new era. The offseason is going to be different than anything we've certainly seen in a long, long time. So, again, information could keep popping up like this. We could keep getting these interviews set up. We could keep getting guys in. A lot of these interviews are virtual. So, at the end of the day, so much information could happen. So, again, I hope to see everybody first thing Monday. We do get back at it at our regular time. I do want to say these few things, though, before we do roll for today. Okay, that's cool. No, Columbus, not too far. Was that about 5 hours west of here? Georgianne, great to have you from Columbus, Ohio. Let me get a few more of these things out before we do wrap it up for today. I do want to say this: when you are getting ready for the big game this weekend and you're trying to get your drink on, why don't you just forget everything else? Stop and get yourself a case, 12-pack, 6-pack, whatever of Duquesne Pilsner. The guys at Duquesne Pilsner go out of their way to help us and include us in their promotion, and we like to do the same for them. We're going to try to lead you in that direction, guys. Stop, check out their social media, hit the like, hit the follow, show them some love. Get yourself some Duquesne Pilsner, now available in Giant Eagle. Grab some for the weekend, for the games. Really good stuff. Always have it on tap here at the studio. That's what I'll be drinking while watching football. What else do we got? Do go check us out on social media, guys. We are everywhere. If you want to keep up with what's going on from a day-to-day basis from the Two Dum Yinzers, you can go to Facebook, you can go to X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, even TikTok. Swing by, hit the follow button, keep up with what Two Dum Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. And finally, if you haven't had a chance yet, do hit the like button down below. Hit the like, sub, share, or leave a comment, anything that you'd like. It all helps us in the algorithm. We certainly appreciate it all. Thank you so much. Mike, anything before we do wrap it up, dude?
No, I got nothing, man. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Let's do this today. Or do this again next week. Jesus, man, I'm losing it too.
I'm the one stroking out. Look at you.
I know. I got the booger sugar to blame at least.
Let's see. TC says I'm from Hinesfield. You're from Aliquippa. Damn right you're from Hinesfield. Literally and figuratively. A lot of games played at the real Hinesfield, now Acrisure Stadium, and Aliquippa, now officially Heinz Field. Let me see what else we got going on here as we wrap things up. Big Slim, same to you, my brother. He says, have a great weekend. Everyone enjoy the playoffs. You too. It's again, we can watch, I guess, without the stress and anxiety. So that's a plus, I guess. We have to take something out of this weekend. Everyone's heart is in Pittsburgh. You're right, Lindsay. I couldn't agree more. Tyrone, my man, TC, everybody. I want to say thank you to everybody, guys. I want to say thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. We wouldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you, everybody on the board. You always keep things interesting here on the show. You guys are the lifeblood of the show, and we couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you so much. And everybody at home, whether you're at home, you're at work, the gym, the car, you've got your buds, pods, phones, whatever on your ears, guys, I want to say thank you too, guys. You all make it work. You all make it worth. I appreciate that, TC, you too, brother. I can't wait to talk to you again. Lindsay, everybody as well. And as I said, guys, we're going to be looking, this 2026 is going to be a big year for us, guys, to continue to hang out with us. We're going to be doing some big things, and I think you're going to be really excited to see that. And again, we're going to be needing some, maybe bringing some new guys, new people, not guys, gals, whatever the case is, on board for this journey as the team and the experience does grow and the show does grow. So if you're interested, kind of keep that in mind. And maybe next week we'll put up some information. Maybe if you're interested and you want to inquire, maybe what it is we're going to do moving forward, we'll do that next week. So just keep an ear on that. If you're interested, if you want to be involved with the show more than what you are, you could certainly, that's going to be opening up. So we're going to be doing that and so much more. 2026, we're looking to be a big year, guys. Of course, the draft coming up in 98 days. So many things going on for Pittsburgh, for the Steelers, for our show, for you guys, for Steeler Nation. So I can't wait. I want us all to be a part of it as this happens, and we're all going to be big smiling when we win the Super Bowl, and that time finally comes. We're all going to do it, guys. I know we are. So I do want to say this again. Thank you so much for coming in to hang out. We will be back Monday at our regular time. Enjoy all the football going on this weekend. All great shows, all great games, every single one, all 4 NFL games. Monday night's going to be a great one as well with the national championship in college, guys. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe. Most important, stay safe. That's at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters. Stay safe, everyone. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. For Finch, for Derpy, for Mike, myself, the Two Dum Yinzers, everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.